what was I going to say?
We're streaming now.
I lost my train of thought.
Starting now. We're streaming.
Train of thought, and I lost it again. And it was serious.
That was weird.
It was serious.
So the YouTube stream is up. We're gonna see if it crashes and burns. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. That's Matt.
Oh, my face is too chubby for this. Call it off.
We gotta slim down. That's why I only have an eyeball in it. See, I have an eyeball. In
Look at this. Watch his fat face.
It's all Ulrich.
Let's don't do this.
All right, so
here, let me get away from the camera. Maybe my face will look skinnier.
Do you want to go sit on the other side of the room now? I don't think that works. Nope.
Here we go. All right. This is where I have to do the show from, so I don't have fat face when we do the stream. Okay.
So you're gonna basically sit in the guest lap.
What's up?
Yeah.
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 Y'all look like y'all are in some type of weird chain there. Some little elephant. What is it called? The elephant hold or the?
Have you seen? Did
Elephant
Dave
walk?
post the pictures of us? Because we had to shed clothes. Like we all had our shirts off, and he took a picture of us, and it
But I
just
wanna
looks like
see
a
this.
looks like a old man brothel.
I want to see that.
Like we're all sweating. We're all sweating, and he's like got the camera. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna die."
All right, are we ready for this? Do you want to start the show?
Hey guys,
I'm here.
I'm Clay Cooley.
Do you want to keep the big light on, or you want to bring it down? You want to make it sexy?
Does that make my face skinnier?
91.7. You're listening to 91.7 KXT. This is the Paul Slavens.
Oh, sleeping
Sleepy-
on JJTM.
Sleepy music hour.
There we go.
Mm,
That definitely
That-
slimmed out my face.
that is some mood lighting right there. I like that.
Get it cold and intimate, a little dark. A little dark. I'm just gonna hide my eye right here.
Well, good show, guys. See you on the other side.
All right, good show.
Yep.
Cheers.
Or
Ulrich's underage.
Underage?
forgot about that.
Our producer, we have an underage producer, so we can actually treat it like a sweatshop. Let's start this show. You ready?
Free labor.
You ready? I want to dance.
Yes.
Let's go.
This episode of the Jerry Jonestown Massacre is brought to you by
Guys, note.
You ready? We're getting the cue? There's some serious business right here.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Just start a band like this that has electronic drums.
Show number 224. Summer is over. We're back.
It's getting there, isn't it? We're on we've entered the racial tension month of summer. Like
Of
every
August.
the end of the summer, there's always racial tension.
So you right off the bat, 8 seconds in.
Oh yeah, you said you didn't want to have a racial
racial
show.
tension. Oh no, we're gonna get into racial. We just
Put a little more in my cans. I'm gonna yell the whole show.
You want to yell? How about this?
Hello.
How's that?
There we
How's
go.
that?
There we
How's
go.
that?
Now I won't yell the whole show.
You won't yell? Anyway, so yes, it's been 4 weeks since we've done a show.
Yeah.
The last show we did was our anniversary show together. The last show we've done together.
Was the 4th of July?
the anniversary show, our 4-year
I remember that.
anniversary show at Billiards
No recollection.
with Nick and James.
That was before I got out of rehab.
And Matt, I've missed you.
Missed you.
I've been so excited about today. I might just shed a little tear. Now.
Were there times that you were overseas looking at the moon and just singing somewhere out there?
Hoping you were face
Sitting
down in
next
a
to
lawn
Jesus.
or back down in a lawn, looking at the same moon,
Singing the same thing.
singing the same thing, going, "I miss you
You know,
so much."
Dustin could be looking at that moon just like I am.
And then started making patterns out of the stars.
Spelling our names
Yes.
together. The JJTM in the sky. JJTM is alive and kicking. We're not dead.
No, this is the longest vacation break we ever took.
And it was awesome.
It was fun. It was good. I got away, went out to California, did 2 shows out there without you.
Yep.
We couldn't swing that. Got to
Well, you
hang
could
out.
have. I was just didn't want to go.
Yeah. Hung out with our good friends from the Ned Files. It was a first-time meetup. We've been talking with those guys for 3 years, and it was
face to face.
It was like hanging out with people you've known your whole life. I showed up, we hung out, watched Eric's band play.
The ska band?
Cherubs. Yeah, the kind of ska band called the Sovereign Rain, I think.
What?
Sovereign Rain.
Wait. Which one is that the one we don't speak of?
Sure, was it Scavern Rain?
It could have been Sovereign Rain. The Sovereign Artist. The
Sure,
Sovereign
with
Rain
the
is
Scarvern
one.
artist?
It should be the Sovereign Artist since they're ska.
Scarvin artists.
Scarvin.
Or if they could be Scarvin Marvin?
They were more rock than they were ska. I was expecting more.
Because that's all they play in Orange County.
And it wasn't.
Oh.
It was like a lot heavier, more punk. And it was good.
It was
I liked
heavy?
it.
Turn the house lights on.
Well, the lead singer reminded me a lot of
Don't
Zach
say-
De La Roca.
Oh. I
And it
thought
was
you were
really
about to say
good, so-
Dimebag.
No. Oh, God.
Why would Zach... So, wait. Zach didn't play guitar.
I didn't say. I said their lead singer, not their
Oh.
guitar. But
Already
they were
confused.
really good, and it was fun hanging out with those guys. Watched Eric play, then we went down the street.
Do
to
they look
this,
like their voices sound?
Well,
Oh.
we've seen all of Becky.
Did she look like her voice sounds?
Yeah, everybody matched up to what I expected them. I've seen pictures of them before. It wasn't like shocking. Like,
Yeah? Did you say Happy
oh my
Tuesday
God,
to him?
that's what you- Yeah.
Did you say Happy Tuesday to me?
Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Dustin, Happy Tuesday?
And I don't know where I put
Or Happy Tuesday?
Ulrich.
Should we go?
Happy Tuesday.
Okay, so we...
Happy Tuesday.
Bigfoot, Happy Tuesday.
Dustin, happy Tuesday.
Bigfoot, Happy Tuesday.
He always interrupts me when I'm telling...
Happy Tuesday.
Oh, see, and he does too.
God, Aaron, chill out.
Happy Tuesday.
Marlon, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Marlon.
Marlon, Happy Tuesday. Tuesday.
So we got a lot of shit to catch up on.
Wait, I got a question about the California trip
Oh, yeah.
before you just brush that over.
It
so,
was...
did y'all do the show in Rebecca's bed? Because that's what she said she wanted to do.
That was what I was really hoping for, but we did it at this badass Mexican restaurant that they know, and they go and do karaoke at all the time.
Wait a second. Turn the house lights on.
And we were
A
smashed.
California Mexican food restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Why?
Mexican
Tijuana's
food.
right there.
Nah.
Baja, baby.
Nah, bruh.
Yeah,
Not Baja.
with fish.
Baja is not Mexican food. Mexican food is Rosa's. No, that's cool.
Chipotle.
What did they have there? They have fish tacos and stuff?
They had your basic
Yeah.
Mexican affair.
They
Yeah.
do?
We drank. Did we drink
Like
margaritas?
Pacific nachos?
Drank a lot of beer. There was a lot of liquor drinking that night.
Did they do California Proud?
Drunk that night? Drinking? Drunk. Yeah.
Drunken.
They did
Drunken.
California Proud?
Yeah.
They hung with the Texan?
Yeah.
Did they drive you home?
No. I drove the rental
did
car
it.
back.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's a rental car. I was like, fuck it. If I set this on fire, who cares?
So your other half had a business thing going on, right? So she didn't go with you? Or did she?
She didn't go with me to the podcast thing.
So you were one-eyeing it around Orange County, hoping not to get pulled over, looking for OJ's house, pretty much, at 3 a.m.
Okay.
Something like that?
Something like that. The military base grows weed out there.
What? Oh, like medicinal weed for their soldiers?
I guess so. I drove
Did you
by
verify it?
the big Navy shipyard
Dispensary.
military base, and
They're like dispensary this way.
weed was being grown on. You just see all these plants being grown. You drive by, and there's stalks of weed. That's how badass California
That you can see from the highway.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I hate L.A. I have said on this show several times that I hate L.A.
Well, it's two different scenes. That southern Orange County, like
No.
Irvine down, is different than
When you
LA.
go south,
Yeah,
that's nice.
exactly.
I like that. I could live in Long Beach.
I wanted to move to Huntington Beach out of college.
Huntington was beautiful.
but
I could live in
it's a
Huntington.
little pricey, dog.
Little bit.
Little pricey.
If you listen to our show that we did, we kind of talked about prices out there, and for
The best skate shop in the world used to be out there. The Huntington Skate Shop.
yeah,
Is it still there?
is that where TNC came from? TNC Surf Designs? Did they come from out there?
Music Factory?
Rip Curl, Quicksilver,
CNC Music Factory.
TNC Surf Designs. Remember they had the
Yeah.
Yin and Yang?
Yeah, the Nintendo game.
Yeah, but they
They
were
had-
also a company,
No, I have no idea.
a skate company.
I
Santa
never rode a
Cruz-
TNC board, bro.
Did Santa Cruz come from there?
I think they were probably from Santa Cruz.
Okay, just making sure.
I think Alva was from there, right? Or am
I
I
don't
making that
know.
up? Where's Dogtown?
But Huntington
Is that-
is where surfing was born, right?
Something like that. That's what they
I
say.
think that's what they said. Is that's where?
Did you run a surfboard?
No,
I've always wanted to take surf lessons.
I got in the ocean.
You
I
did- oh,
sat
there you
by
go.
the ocean. I sat by the ocean for
That's
a
good.
while. Yeah,
Okay.
just saying.
Did you take some pictures?
Yeah, I took some
It
pictures.
is cool.
I flew my drone around.
You know what is cool is going to the West Coast and going to the beach and watching the sun go down. It is weird. It's cool because you're like, there you go. Because I'm a flat earther. And so I believe that that's the sun falling off the edge of the earth.
Already,
Yeah.
we're not even 10 minutes into it.
Yeah. What is that rate? We can't talk
Flat
about flat
earther.
earth either.
Can't have.
I
a
got the
flat
memo
Earth.
about the racism stuff, but I didn't get the memo about flat earth. We don't want to offend them. That's what I was going to ask. While you were away, the last time, all the Black Lives Matter, and we didn't have Antifa back then, or if we did, it was at the grassroots.
What's an Antifa?
Antifa,
Uh-huh.
Antifa. Am I saying it wrong?
What's that?
Antifa, right?
Antifa.
Antifa, Antifa.
What is this?
Antifa, Antifascist, the new organization that's fighting for America. You know, last year was Black Lives Matter. Well, this year we have a new force has joined.
Has this started in the last 3 weeks?
Yes,
They've
Other
been
than
around
that-
for a few years.
they've been around for a few years, but they got their name this last week. Actually, they started getting their name with that Milo speech out in
at Berkeley.
Berkeley
Mm.
that got shit canned. I think they were the ones that started that.
They show up and fight Nazis. Now, who throws the first punch? I'm gonna leave that up to who witnesses what
Right.
happening.
Whose interpretation are you watching? So
Because everyone wants to call them a violent organization, which I'm
Yeah.
just like, well,
we should
Uh,
probably introduce the
very
guy talking too,
loose
by the way.
organization, but I'm not there, so I don't I only comment as far as I know.
All right, so
But anyway,
let's go ahead and introduce you real quick.
Oh,
and then
Go
we're
into
going to
this.
get back on my train of thought
this
because I have a
Antifa.
question about it.
Our guest this week is
Brian Breckenridge, DFW comedian.
Is that just it? Your title? Is that on your business card?
I have no
DFW?
cards. It's all
You don't?
Facebook and like
On your Facebook, does it
I
say
say DFW. No,
comedian?
just DFW comedian because I live in Arlington, so born and raised in Irving.
Yeah.
So and I do comedy wherever.
I used to
like-
live in Arlington.
You've always been stuck
No.
in the middle.
Yeah. So
Did you grow
I've
up
always
in Arlington?
Irving.
No.
Lived in Irving, lived in Euless for a little bit.
Ugh.
Went to school in Irving, but I've always had to drive, whether it was before comedy, drive to go see the bands I want to see, whether it's Dallas, Deep Ellum, Fort Worth, Rec Room, Denton, Rubber Gloves, and kind of the same for comedy.
You never went
I-
to Zombies
Nope. Don't know what that is.
In
Where is that?
Arlington, right there, just south of the university.
or Daddy Rocks?
No. I'm 33. If
Sanctuary?
That helps you place things.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. I hate it when people do that right off the bat.
I do like hearing stories from those times. There's a couple of guys.
From
in
those
Arlington.
times. From those
yeah, we had
times.
horses.
The coolest thing I ever
We
heard
walked
about
uphill
Deep
to the
Ellum.
venue both ways.
This guy I know,
We
he's
had to
like
carry our
40.
gear.
This guy I know, he's like 40, and so he's growing up. He like fought skinheads in Deep Ellum when he was part of the, I don't know, just like
The
kinda like
Sharps. They're called they're called skinheads.
Well, that's skinheads
racial prejudice.
So, but they're actually fighting the hammerskins, which are the racist
real ones.
skinheads.
Yeah, the
They're the real
Hammerskins were
ones.
there.
Which is funny
Yeah.
about skinheads. If you're like, no, we're the not racist skinheads.
It
Like
gets
maybe
confusing.
you should rethink if the default version of your outfit is racist, and you're like, no, we're the non-racist kind. Maybe you need to rethink that.
Yeah, it's like the KKK.
hair.
If
So-
there was a
Just a hair.
KKK against racial prejudice, would they still wear the dunce hat and stuff?
But in purple.
No, I think that means you're a Grand Dragon, right?
But in pink.
There you go.
Or brown.
I think you just
Brown
described
girls?
our outfits for the Halloween JJTM show.
Jeez.
I'm
Not in this day and age.
I'm not available for that.
So anyway,
Not in
getting
this day
back
and
to
age,
what
I'm
I
not
was
doing
saying,
it.
okay, so last time we had the big. Oh no, I stand corrected. It wasn't the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff that went down last summer that got you in trouble. It was the election of Donald Trump that got you in trouble with Fort Worth Antifa.
Got me in trouble?
Yeah, remember with the Fort Worth week? Am I imagining this? Didn't you like have a 30,000 post thread about why you were a racist asshole because of Trump getting elected?
Because I made the observation that the peaceful protest,
Uh-huh.
is that the one you're talking about?
Right.
That the peaceful protest that everybody's going to have
No.
didn't end up peaceful, and
What?
that dude that did the other podcast, that's kind of crazy.
I thought it was about that girl that got threatened. Wasn't there a girl there was a dude that played the inaugural something.
Oh, the Fort Worth.
That Fort Worth-
I didn't have anything to do with
musician?
that.
Well, what was it that
Oh.
you got where the dude started going off on you when you were in Oklahoma?
That was the deal with me saying so much for having peaceful protest during the inauguration. And then he
That's
went off
right,
and
that's
said,
right.
"You sit up on
So it
your
is the
high
same thing.
castle and
With
you
drink your martini.
you drink
your
your
olive
martini, from a goblet. Look at
Yeah.
you, you're Mr. Goody
Yeah,
Goody."
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, that
Make a
dude's
joke out of everything.
Hey, that dude's a fucking freak.
You make a joke out of everything.
And the only reason I'm still friends on Facebook with him is so I know where he's at all
so
times.
you know to stay away from there.
So I know to stay away where he's at because
He'll kill you.
we may be reading about him soon.
Hey, all right. So my point is, though, lucky for you, all this hell and death and morbid terror that's happened that I think is, man, honestly, more media push than anything. But we'll get into that later.
I do want to get in that later because I
'cause
have a whole.
I still buy weed from my black friend down the street, and he just every time.
Is that Antifa?
That's Antifa.
I think that's just the market.
It's the
Working.
market. But anyway, my point being,
That's just supply and demand.
Where does
Luckily,
Queen
you were-
Latifah fit into Antifa? What? I don't understand.
she's
this
the
Antifa.
captain of it. Well, this Antifa is LARPers, is from what I've gathered from other podcasts. They're LARPers. They're really mad. They're confused about why they're mad. And then I don't want to get anyone mad at me. Kind of like Brian said. Send the emails to the show, not my personal account. The Antifa guys are just confused. They didn't get laid much. They want to be mad about something because it's cool to be mad about stuff, but I don't know. They're just really angry hipsters, maybe?
Sort of.
Something.
So
It's kind of like that. But anyway, you didn't get any hate mail from them because you were out of the country. So you dodged a bullet.
how do you know I was out of the country and I wasn't in Charlottesville in a march?
Ooh, conspiracy theory.
And I was there collecting
Instigating it.
this audio that I'm about to play right now
You got some
of
audio?
the march. No.
Oh.
No,
Anyway, you dodged it, man.
I did dodge it. I'm kind of glad I did.
I'm too, because I think if you would have been here, there would have been death threats. We wouldn't be
What,
allowed
against
in
me?
Lola's. You would never be able to go to Lola's anymore.
Why? I have nothing to do with that. Although I have hot sports opinions I would like to get to later. But if we're already into it, we might as well just get into it. Tiki torches.
That's the funny. I mean, if there is a
Where
funny
the
part,
fuck did they get this many tiki torches?
man, they raided Aaron's pool.
He's
I
only
was
got
pissed.
like 8.
I was still pissed
What'd
when I
they
saw
do?
that. I was like, dude.
They go backyard to backyard just stealing people's tiki
Yeah.
torches?
I think that's what they did.
Have you seen? It's
I've
insane.
seen the pictures. I think it was just
They Did they get an endorsement from Home Depot?
So the video I saw on
Surely they got a group discount on that.
on Italia
Right?
TV was hundreds of these guys having the same generic tiki torch.
Just like Aaron. Is Aaron?
Okay. If I go to my Home Depot right up the street here,
And they don't have any. You're going to be pissed.
They're probably
No.
gonna have like 50 available.
not even that many. There might
Oh.
be 20 in this box. That's it.
Yeah. You're
How
lucky
do you
to.
get thousands of them?
I don't know. Because they're
the-
always
the
out.
thing is,
Oh, I know.
The Charlottesville thing
Oh,
was
I know.
planned months in advance.
No, but
So
I know.
they had time to get all of it together.
Oh, they were
'cause had to go
stocking.
through. They had to go through permits. They got. They tapped the ACLU.
I bet you they went through Amazon Fulfillment
all this
Center for
stuff.
those tiki torches.
No, I know how they did it.
And I want to know something else. What were they doing with the? Okay, so I'm assuming.
Do you
the
want
March-
to know where they got these tiki torches?
Yes, but then I got another question. Go ahead. Where'd they get them?
The king of all protests
Gilligan's
ever.
Island.
George Soros.
Ooh, there's
That's
a
not the
conspiracy
side
theory.
he funds, but
That's a
fund,
good conspiracy.
I rest my
good
case.
theory. Why
So-
not fund both sides?
Fun, why not? He's going to make money.
Banks in World War II.
You
looking
guys
at
are
Yeah,
on.
there
You
you
are
go.
actually onto something. We need to
Feed
look into
both
that.
sides of the machine. Where was he?
Nobody knows. All right. Huh?
Bam.
He's in Italy
There
with
you
some
go.
guy
He
named
was just
Dustin.
decaying somewhere.
All right. The other thing.
He didn't join me till
Okay,
Santorini.
so this is the other thing I don't understand at all. If you remember when we had our 4th of July party, I was struggling to keep those damn things lit. How did they stay lit? Number one, how did they have enough fluid? Like, were they carrying a thing of fluid next to them and just fill me up? Because that would get cumbersome if you were trying to do a racist march.
Plus,
You
it
know,
might be. It's going to be so
we
hot.
know.
It's very hot. That's a lot. It's already hot in August. That's a lot of fire.
You know what I mean?
What if it's
And of
like
course,
a
it was
marathon?
at night because those white.
But they
those,
don't
Them
stay
white
lit.
boys are going to burn.
They
Otherwise.
never stayed lit. The other night when I was trying to light mine
Yeah.
up, it kept going out.
Well, when you
and I mean the other night on the 4th of July, okay?
when you use the lard of humans you've killed, it stays lit a lot longer. Trust me.
Or whale oil. They
Or
might have
whale
gotten
oil.
it from the black market. Whale oil.
Why has it got to be black? Now
they're-
you just entered in.
Because you can't buy
Another
illegal
layer
whale
of
oil.
racism.
That's what
Hey,
we've
you want to hear
labeled.
something funny?
Fine, the illegal market.
have you-
Oh.
are you
black
ca-
market is just more fun to say.
Are
Like
you
black
caught
a
up?
metal.
lot more.
Are you? How about? Wait, say that again.
It's just more fun to say. You know, like black metal. Just
Yeah.
Black market well blubber.
yeah.
That does sound cool.
It's an
does.
illegal market. That's
Black-
too obvious.
black
so you
market
can
whale
go
blubber?
buy the whale blubber to
Is that-
burn right
okay,
next
so
to the
What would make? Let's
eggs.
think about this for a second. What would make whale blubber black market though? Like, is that
It's illegal
whales?
because whaling's illegal.
Oh, so no matter what,
No,
like
you could
unless
probably
you're from
find
China,
it.
Japanese.
You
if
could probably
you're from
find it
China-
in Japan next to the shark fin soup.
No, I
It's
don't think they
also
have it in
illegal.
Japan. I think it's only in.
Well, whaling's
China
legal
now.
in Japan because that's who
Yeah.
whale
Hello.
wars is always fighting.
whale wars.
You're off your game.
I am off my game.
So the tiki torches, man. That was insane.
There
I
was
was
some
the whole
zillion
time
of them.
I was like, man, that's got to be a pain in the ass because you can't keep those things lit. And one thing that I know for sure, they didn't have any mosquitoes around there. I bet.
No.
Are they all centronella?
Yeah, they had to
tiki
be
torches
centronella.
too.
So yeah, the only like the footage I saw on Italia TV was the same loop of these guys like walking down some road
Oh,
with
the
1,000
Hitler
tiki
youth
torches.
haircuts.
Yeah.
And they all have the same tiki torches.
Right as Dustin's telling some Italian dude, "Yeah, America's great,
America's
man.
great.
It's freaking awesome.
We've
dude.
made it great
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude." And all of a sudden they're
Well, that
looking at the
Charlottesville,
TV,
that's just a small town. We don't. Pay
and there's
attention.
all these guys in Abercrombie and Fitch like shirts with tiki torches and Seth haircuts.
Oh my god.
Right? I could say that. He's our friend.
So what this was all just supposedly they were all white supremacists? Because seriously, I don't know and I haven't read.
I think what happened
They were protesting
there
the
was
Robert-
he was saying that there was
or
something
Jefferson Davis
scheduled.
or Robert E. Lee.
Yeah, one of those
Trying to remove a statue.
guys. Yeah, it's all about statues now. Like now, statues' lives matter now.
Do
Not
they
to
not
make a
realize?
pun on anything, but like statues they don't. Go ahead. I think I know.
I
what you're
just
about to
went
ask
to a
here.
country that has statues that are centuries old of both the winning and losing sides
Some
of
of those
battles.
some of those statues had
It's
sex with
fucking
young
history.
boys too. By the way,
Okay, yeah.
no, not the Wait, that sounded.
You talking about the dead popes that are underneath altars? We'll get to that. That's
Ooh.
creepy as fuck. But anyway, yes, these statues. There are statues in other countries of both the winning and the losing side.
I'm assuming you've seen the footage of that jackass that, like the day after Charlottesville, they went to some other place out in the Carolinas, and they like pull down the statue, and this jackass in like a white T-shirt just like goes over and starts like kicking it, and then flips it off, and he flips it off like he spits too. He spits at it, flips it off, and then keeps looking at it like, "Don't come back at me!" Like. You almost want to say
it's going to reanimate?
Like there's a Ghostbusters goo
like
inside
it's
of it.
just going to
gonna
step
come
up like,
alive
hey,
and-
man, you spit on me and flip me off.
Here's
But
my solution.
it was
Move
the
all the
most-
statues to private property. Then it's no issue.
True.
Well, hold on.
It was the most awkward.
this is
Wait,
at-
wait.
this is
Have
at
you,
a
guys, have you guys
university.
seen that video that I was just explaining?
Yeah.
It's the
I
most
did see that.
awkward flipping off that
Oh,
you've
I've
ever
seen
seen.
this
Like
one,
he's
but-
like
It's
eh,
the first time he's ever stuck
flipped
his
his
middle
finger
finger
up.
up.
Yeah, and
It's a little flaccid too.
yeah, it's a
just-
little flaccid,
Meh.
a little flaccid,
And
and
he-
then this girl comes up right next to him and just starts kicking the crap out of him. Like you could tell
Take
she,
a piss on it. I mean,
she
that would
obviously
be like,
she obviously was
"Yeah,
taking
wear
every
this."
single dumping that she'd ever gotten from anyone. She took out her Uncle Touchy. She
Her
took
daddy.
out her daddy. She took out the local preacher.
Her mommy that didn't defend her.
Yep,
or
and
stand up for
she
her.
took out
Her
the
fucking
the,
dentist
the,
that
the
hurt her
ending
mouth.
the ending to I don't know, Dexter or something, and it all went through this aggression to this object that was completely non-alive.
And she went completely opposite of the
And broke her
Notebook.
foot, probably. Yeah. She was mad about the Notebook and Titanic, probably.
Probably.
Actually, she is probably too young to know that, but it was fun. It's been fun to watch. The thing that's
it is
funny is
funny,
it's
like-
all a bunch of crap. Like, I don't know anybody that's really
So over there,
that pissed right now,
over there, the
except me.
what I was told was like, "Oh, welcome to our world.
Yeah.
We have racist over here too.
This is
and
more
we have
specific over there.
Neo-Nazis over here too. They've been around forever.
Did you go, but do they have tiki torches, bro?
We've had. Have you ever been outside of the DFW area by like maybe 20 miles? Like maybe make a trip down to Ennis. Maybe go up to Azle. Maybe go out to Wise County a little bit.
I was in
Maybe-
Lake Worth earlier today, man. White settlement.
You
Well,
talking about
that's
going and
okay.
seeing the real
Well,
racist?
White Settlement.
The real racist people?
How about go out towards Weatherford? This
yeah,
isn't something new. This has been around.
No, yeah.
And like, neat. You just poured more spotlight on.
Yeah, we've
The whole
stamped them
Charlottesville
into the outskirts of your Weatherfords of America, and to me, I'm like, that's progress from where they used to just
Which was here.
Yeah.
blatantly run a business and be like,
Yeah.
ain't no working for me. Now we've kind of like fuck off, go back into the boonies where you belong, and
Yeah.
then hopefully society will further push you out into nothingness,
Yeah.
and your spawn will be like, fuck this.
You know what would
yeah.
have been
cool with everybody.
effective in this whole thing?
Carpet bombing?
No. As they're doing this march, your media outlets not be there. Your Vice not be there.
Oh no, Vice
Oh,
made a
Vice
a
was
full
balls
on,
deep.
Yeah,
they caught the
had a-
car
Oh,
running
yeah.
over people.
And-
I did see the
and
Vice
Yeah.
thing over
they
there.
sent
That
a
shit
production
broke me.
to the Vice
was
sent a
nuts.
production like that
Whole
had
crew.
been done. No, like to all the media outlets with a music bed with like
yeah.
dramatic cuts, dramatic lighting,
fueled
everything.
the fire.
Yeah,
You fueled the fire. If everybody
gonna-
would have just ignored this march,
yeah.
they would have been like, "Oh, well, that
It'd have been
didn't
like
do
all the
anything,
other-
So let's never do one again."
Well, see, that's the thing is it gets back to those people that from what I've seen, when you hear most of these Antifas, like Black Lives Matter has some stuff. I'll give them a little clout. There's some things that they could bring up, some topics that they got it right maybe on, and
But
some
there
that they
are
don't. But
some segments of Black
that-
Lives
that
Matter
is
that are
well, yeah,
radicals.
right.
And that's
Okay.
every group.
That's every
really.
group.
That's
That's every group.
But
period.
they're going to get
not
more of the
pure.
attention.
But this Antifa, and trust me, I'm damn the man. I hate big companies and stuff, and big government, and all that. I'm right there with you. But a lot of them are just like it's like they're pissed because their kill ratios are low or something on Call of Duty, and they don't know how to. They're just so mad.
One thing
And
I do
they
like
don't
about
know why.
Antifa is they're mostly reactionary.
Yeah,
They're not BLM where they're going to go out and have a thing. They show up to hopefully kick the shit out of some Nazis, which from a general outside perspective, and like you get a bunch
That
of
gets to my LARPing.
Abercrombie Hitler Youth kind of thing, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, yeah, I really don't give a shit if you fight them. I really don't care.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny to me. But also, what's funny is you said Antifa is like LARPers. What's the internet Trump
Skinheads are
world?
LARPers.
Yeah.
That's your because to me, like anime
the
has been
alt-right?
lumped in with the alt-right pro-Trump crowd. So I'm just like, anime versus LARPers.
All right.
Oh please,
Dude, check
yes,
this
that
out.
is hilarious.
He's onto something. What do I say about this room?
Oh shit, we're gonna have to have
It's a
security
fucking
at
think
cons now.
It is a
It's a
think,
think
tank.
tank. We just thought of something. Man, let's
Make a
promote
TV
this.
show.
Let's make a big fight. Like, let's invite
At least
both
the LARPers
sides.
get exercise and
Let's-
have pretend weapons. They're
How-
gonna destroy
I
the
We'll
get
anime
start off.
people.
We'll start off. We'll start
I have
off
a
with.
scenario.
We'll start off with Antifa and white supremacist or alt right. Right.
Yeah, for
We'll start off with that, and then we'll have it at freaking
E.
Jerry's
Cheese?
World. No,
Oh.
Jerry's World.
Trailer park, Lowe's.
I have a whole
yeah,
idea.
there you go. Let's try
Big
that.
outdoor
Yeah.
area, serve drinks
Let's
in the
try
middle of it.
We'll give them meth. We'll
And
give
they
them. We'll
just
give them.
don't go at
We'll
it?
get. We'll get.
They don't
we'll
seem
give
like a
them Adderall
methy
and meth.
crowd though. They seem like
No.
maybe drinkers. That's the thing is I can't pin a drug on either side.
Let's
Maybe
have 'em all
weed on
show up to
Antifa,
Coachella.
but the alt right, I don't know
Every
what
once
their
in a while,
drug
some
is
shrooms
besides
Antifa.
nationalism, which I'm just kind of like, dude, like nobody
Yeah,
chose where they were born.
they're definitely doing Bud
don't
Light
give
and
a shit.
Jaeger on the. On
Can we
the,
have this
alt right side?
Antifa show up to like Coachella and beat the fuck out of all these chicks that are these
Wait, what? I
beat the fuck out of all
don't
these
think the alt right's at Coachella
Justin
anyways.
Schneider at gmail.com.
Hold on, I'm not done. They beat the
Schneider
shit
at
out of all these
gmail.com.
rich bitchy chicks that are wearing their Indian headdresses
Justin
around.
Schneider at
Oh, no,
gmail.
dude.
Yeah.
Your normal
Yeah.
run of the mill
Yeah.
Twitter,
She's
progressive's
got
gonna
patchouli.
take that.
Look at me, I'm wearing my Indian headdress to Coachella.
And she's got patchouli.
no.
She's got patchouli.
Oh no,
on and stuff.
Tumblr
Yeah.
is all over that already.
You
so-
know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna shave my legs for the month of July before I go to
Bam!
Coachella. When is Coachella?
It's already happened.
What's about to happen? There's one of them's about to happen.
Starfest, Plano.
Is it,
Wait, not
what?
Plano. Have you heard about
It's
Starfest?
Burning Man,
Burning Man.
which next year.
We're going.
No.
Or there's gonna be
Mark it
alt
down.
right. That'd be
We
something.
got
funny.
an invite while I was gone.
Oh, cool, man. The but to get back to the how it all started, since you weren't here, Brian's right. I think that they had this thing
Correct.
planned.
I'm not alt right, just so you know. No.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I'm right. No, I mean correct.
Ooh,
all right.
What happened? It sounds like
Libertarian,
there
I
was
don't
some
care
this
either way.
this group. These the guys that got the tiki torches with the shirt, the collars popped.
Oh, if there was a pop collar,
They,
that would've been
I
great.
bet you, if you go through the photos, you find one.
Instead of like
There had
fire
to be.
him, fire him. No. Look a little bit down.
It
See
looked
if
like
any
a
the
lot of
collars
them
are
looked
popped.
like that. Remember that at the beginning of the summer, those pictures of the guys that were wearing the onesies? It looked like the same people to me.
Oh my god.
What would you have done is if this entire column of people carrying torches were walking down this street and they had a nice shot of them all marching together. At the end of the street, it's dark, and all of a sudden you just see a bunch of LARPers light their lightsabers up. We're going to take care of this.
And Matt Thomas is just right. I got this. Hello, Dustin. I'm glad you're back. So anyway,
Wait, why am I there? I'm not a LARPer.
I have a feeling we're just there to broadcast it.
Oh, okay.
So I have a feeling, though, like I think this is what happened from what I've gathered. These groups, these alt-righters, the ones with the tiki torches, they decided to get pissed off because they're gonna take down a goddamn statue. We can't let that happen. Which is, I don't know, strange. The whole premise is strange that we're so upset
Fuck
about
the
this.
San Jacinto Monument.
Yeah.
Let's take it down.
Man, I heard Ozzy Osbourne pissed in the Alamo.
Tear it down.
Anyway, so I think they had been planning this for a while, and they had gotten permits and this, that, and other. So word gets out, with Twitter and the interwebs, and that's when the Antifa guys decided they were going to show up. That's the Antifa. They got all these people that joined Antifa. They really were touched by Rogue One. Like when Rogue One started, they're like, it struck a nerve with them. They're like, oh. And so this was it. This was their coming out party.
This is our rebellion.
Yeah, they had a little warm up, and that was the Milo speech out at Berkeley.
Did anybody in their van driving there go, what do we call this van?
Antifa.
Rogue One.
Yeah, I bet you there was some Rogue One. Yeah,
We're Rogue One.
yeah. I bet you some of them bought some Rogue One stuff off my eBay store.
Where you sell racist paraphernalia?
Dude, I should start the Tiki Club or something, like the
Or
Tiki Torch Club.
Confederate flags?
But man, that's messed up because I've heard that
White sheets?
like Google and eBay, all these companies and Amazon are now starting to, if you have anything like Whiskey Dick, I feel sorry for them because they're not going to be able to sell shirts before long on eBay.
Rebel flags and whiskey.
They're seriously,
Yeah,
no,
seriously.
they're really doing that. Like
Yeah.
people like that make any kind of garb that has to do with the Southern culture. They're not going to be able to sell their stuff anymore because of this stupid. That's the other thing. So we're to the point now where if we're pissed off at a certain symbol or a flag, we burn it. If there's a statue, we tear it down. Now,
If a joke,
Gone with the Wind.
you can't joke about shit anymore.
Oh yeah, you
At
haven't
all.
been-
Oh,
you got to clean up your whole
especially-
set, dude.
You especially can't. Right after the election, I've noted. Then again, this is only my sample size. There's people that can't take jokes about Trump. So
No,
you have on the left people that don't want to hear like certain words being said, and then on the right, in February I had violence that happened
Yeah.
for the first time at a comedy show.
because you
Is,
made a Trump joke.
No,
What are you, French faggot or something?
but I
Is that what
knew
they were
from the
saying?
beginning that something was awry. So I do these shows at Sunshine in Arlington. So
Great bar.
great bar,
Visit
divey as
Sunshine.
shit.
We
It's
love it.
great.
Yeah.
We love
Some
Sunshine
shows
Bar.
are amazing, some are fine, and
Right.
some just got some piece of shit drunk asshole heckling. So this one show, the headliner is out of Memphis, a guy named Mo Alexander, and he's going to be
A
on
comic?
Yeah. He's a great dude.
Did you book
touring.
it?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
man.
I book
That's
a
cool.
lot of different comedy shows. So this one, so Mo was back there in October, and it was a great show. We had like two hecklers from the beginning, and one guy. It sucked. These guys wanted to shut up, but eventually we got one guy to leave because he was way wasted, and this one guy was
That
like,
seems to be a problem
I'm
at
sorry.
Sunshine.
I'm
There's
so
wasted
sorry.
people there.
And so he eventually stayed for the show, and I even saw him a few months later. Kept saying he was sorry. So that was the first time Mo was there. Mo came back in February. So February, it's a few months removed from the election.
Uh-huh.
Show started at 10. I get there about 8
It
o'clock.
was right after inauguration.
Oh, yeah. So it's still fresh in everyone's
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Everyone's still reeling and like, I don't know what to do. Not much has happened, so we just have to wait and see.
What are we
But
gonna be
everyone's
pissed
still on
about
edge.
now?
So I get there about 8 o'clock and set up my PA because it's Sunshine, and they got the PA for the bands. But I go up and set up my PA for the comedy shows. And I notice there's like a table, and so they're there. And so anyone that's usually there that's not like a regular that pretty much lives at that bar, like usually, all right, they're going to be gone by the time this show starts. So usually I don't have to worry about it. Because if they're there when
You're
the
talking
show
about the
starts,
daytime regulars, like
kind of, or
yeah.
someone's just there because they've been drinking. So I'm just like, I hope to God that they're fucking out of here by the time the show starts because they're going to be drunk.
The semi-lot lizards.
There was a lot lizard that was there for that last Kalichi Burnout show that was asking to be raped in the parking lot.
Huh?
She was begging
I'll
to
ask-
be rigged.
I'll have to ask Link about this.
I think
but-
she was on crank for the
So
first time
the show
ever, and-
starts at Sunshine at 10. And so this one group, and I think just like kind of talking to them, I did I set up the PA, did like a mic check, was just kind of bullshitting around.
Feeling the crowd
Yeah,
out a little bit.
And I was just like, hey guys, and I was talking to them, and I'm like, they seem like a fine group. One guy there who's going to be the antagonist in this thing, he was kind of like, everyone was like nice, decently dressed. This one guy looked a little bit white trashy. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I kind of was just like, he may have voted for Trump. Maybe that whole table did. Who knows? And then throughout the course of the show, so you have the table there. Turns out they're friends of the owner or something. The owner's friends, whatever. And so I have some local comics go up. It gets a little bit better by the time Mo has a feature comic that drives him around. Mo's like 400 pounds, and so he has a guy driving him
Mo
around.
needs someone to drop.
Yeah. And so and this Mo wanted to
Do you have
come
to
back
feed
to this
Mo?
place. No, he's good. And so the show's going on. This guy's kind of piping up throughout the show, and
Like
we're just kind of like, oh god damn it, But it's almost like he wasn't just straight up heckling. That you can clamp
Like
down
not
on.
normal heckling.
It wasn't like,
He's
hey,
getting-
fucking suck, fuck you, piece of shit, or something like that. It was just like, yeah, like not. He was excited, but not like, oh, that was a really good joke. Excited, but it was just kind of like it's almost straight up heckling, but like hopefully it'll pipe down. It didn't. So Mo is going on. He's like on stage for like 20 minutes, and these two dudes. So that's one side of the bar near the back entrance. The other side of the bar, these two dudes walk in, and let's just throw race into it. Mo is a black man, about 400 pounds, out of Memphis. This guy, a table of white
I
people.
never would've
One
guessed
guy
that.
is kind of white trashy looking, bald head, goatee. Your standard Hell Yeah fan, and he wasn't wearing a Hell Yeah shirt, but he
Wow.
definitely looked. Oh,
On.
yeah, I'll rip it. I don't give a fuck. So these two other guys come in the other bar, and they just kind of like see what's going on. They're like, "Oh, a comedy show, cool. We'll sit down." One guy thinks like Asian, the other guy is Hispanic, and so they're there. And I throw that in just to I give way too much detail, but just to let you know.
But you had the rainbow.
Oh yeah.
Of all
Oh no.
races,
Then
you
there's
had
one.
the-
I haven't. So there's another one.
I haven't got to the gay guy yet.
There may have been one there. Who knows? So they're kind of there. They see Mo going for like 15 minutes. And Mo's awesome. He's slaying. And he's just doing his material. This guy kind of keeps piping up. It gets to a point. The audience has had it. And we're just like, shut up. It was almost magical. At one point.
Was he interfering with the show?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
okay. So
And at one point, the entire bar in unison said, shut the fuck up. Like, you had like 40, 50 people telling one guy. And it didn't faze him. So he kept doing it. And so throughout the course of some comics addressing him and that crowd, turns out that guy ex-military. And these two dudes, they were only there for like 10, 15 minutes. They had enough of his shit. And then Mo's up there, and Mo's just like saying jokes. And he's like, yeah, these two guys over there, it's like, of course, this guy's kind of piping up. These guys are like, we got your back, Mo. And I was like, oh, cool. They're supportive. Nice. But I didn't realize, no, they really had his back. And so and at one point they run across. So if you know where Sunshine's laid out, they run across like where the jukebox is, and that's kind of where the comedy is, where the foosball table's usually at. They run across. There's like a 2 steps down to this little area where the shithead is, and then like a table with a giant rusty metal fan. So one guy kind of goes down the steps, the other guy hops on the table, grabs the fan, and he didn't like throw it at him. He was too close, but tries to throw the fan
at the Trump dude,
at the piece of shit, probably Trump guy. Because the thing is, anytime we knew it was by deducing it, anytime someone ripped on Trump, everyone laughed except that little area. Ironically enough, who were in front of a giant American flag.
how can you not laugh at Trump? Even if you're
I know,
Trump,
that's the thing.
even
and
if
it's
you're-
the alt-right that's just like, hey, we can do whatever we want. Shit's funny, okay? We can say all the words we want. And then it's like, you make fun of Trump. They're like, he's the president, goddammit.
Yeah, have some respect.
So it starts to scuffle. These guys try to throw two fans. Like, so the whole story.
Yeah, we got you.
Mo was on his way to Austin for the weekend. So he has a story that punchlines with like two fans threw a fan at a guy that was maybe a fan. But
I bet
so
you
they
Austin
start
loved
fighting.
that.
It goes out into the parking lot. I'm standing next to Mo just because I'm like making sure nothing happens to my headliner. And I was like, all right. So and then after he goes outside, I try to get some video. But turns out those two guys, ex-military. And there's a guy at the bar that comes to as many shows as he can. He's a black guy named Ryan. He was trying to break that shit up. Ryan, ex-military. So that was so
bunch of
fucking
military
weird.
people, huh?
Starting the shit, and because at the end, those guys had taken off. The white trash dude had his shirt off. Surprise. And it had a knife out.
Oh,
and
dear.
he eventually left to try to go find those dudes. What's funny is I'll occasionally run into one of the guys. I actually saw him Saturday. I was just like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, he was like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey.
What about the guy that
Back
was
in February? Thanks a lot.
What about
Nice.
that dude? Did he ever come back?
Oh, I don't
seen
know.
him?
I don't give a shit.
Huh?
That guy just.
The Hell Yeah fan.
I assume that just because I live in Arlington,
So it's funny.
I know they're.
It's funny that you say that.
I'm not saying they're Trump supporters. I just know what they
It's
look
funny
like.
that you say that, and I've wondered that because
And
as
Hell Yeah is
in a
terrible.
band, there'll be bands. There'll be times that I've been in and saw a show. Like
Chad
we're
Gray
about to
can
play a
throw on as
show.
many cowboy hats as he wants. I'm still picturing the makeup. I'm sorry.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Anyway, bands will go into a bar and be like, okay, so we're death metal, and this is a kind of this is a Henry the Archer show, and they scope that out. So comics do that too. You go into a bar and you kind of look at your crowd and you size it up, huh?
You can, like it's probably a little harder just because we're comics. There are some similarities between comedy and music and bands and kind of like genres of comedy,
Yeah.
kind of. But the thing is, like with comedy, you can have a bunch of diverse comics. It actually makes for a better show than if you have a
Absolutely.
bunch of like fucking modern day white boy hipster comics. They're all talking about dicks or whatever and all wear
What's wrong with
button-up.
dicks?
That's fine as long as it's a unique dick joke. But hey, throw some women on there. Throw some, Hispanic people, some black people. I purposely make my
Yeah,
shows diverse
diverse.
because that gives you usually the most. That's a good comedy
Right.
show. You have diverse lineup. You can't really do that, unless you're doing some like Lola's Cover Fest or something where you have all these different genres. Your basic band show is going to be like 4 bands, all kind of the same-ish genre, rock, punk, metal, little degrees here and there.
Yeah.
But comedy, like, now a good comic should go out and kind of scout, kind of see, but
Check
you can
the
only
oil.
really
Check
know.
the oil of
You
the
can only
crowd.
check the oil so much as the comics before you who have already driven the audience a little bit. Now, but that's also up to the host. But there's a lot of trial and error because I've put on some shows at some terrible places, but then you strike gold with like Sunshine. I got Dr. Jekyll's Beer Lab in Pantego.
That's what I was going to
done-
ask you. How many places are you booking right now?
So monthly, I have Dr. Jekyll's, which is
And Pantego.
Yeah. So technically Arlington, I let comics know, hey, you're going to be in Pantego for a second. Drive 35 miles per hour, not 1 over because it's a speed trap.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good place. The venue's supportive. Sunshine, I did like a straight up monthly show for like 2 years. Now I'm just kind of booking them as I feel it.
You want to hear something funny about Pantego? I got pulled over when I was 18, open container, drunk off my ass, and got off in Pantego.
Ulrich, don't do that.
No, don't do that. But and it was just because
Ulrich,
I
this is a show
casually
about
mentioned
things
I
you shouldn't
casually
do in
mentioned the
life.
dude's name whose apartment I was going to, and apparently that he went to high school with the guy that was having the party at this apartment complex, and they let me off.
Yeah.
How old was this? Oh, wait.
It's not a good thing
How
to
old
do.
was this cop? Like 20?
He was
21.
I was 18, and he was probably 25, 26, maybe
Oh, okay.
something like that. It was interesting.
So if we do a full wrap,
That was the same apartment complex that I made the Happy Martin Luther King Day joke to the black ladies, and it didn't turn out well.
Oh, geez.
No shit.
Imagine that. So if we make a full 180 here and come back,
That'd be a 360.
No, the 360 is a full loop. We're 180. We're coming back. We're boomeranging back towards us.
Oh, gotcha.
So this whole Charlottesville ordeal, the thing that threw me off the most overseas was how many people were upset about
Big
Trump
Brother?
not saying something good or bad or positive or just addressing that it was a bad ordeal. And
What? The Charlottesville?
the Charlottesville thing. And it made me wonder, and it started popping up on news media over there. It was like, why does the U.S. population need reassurance from their president that something is good or bad? Especially if in your mind you know that Charlottesville was a bad
That's how-
situation. The
what-
whole thing was bad. Why do you need...
That wasn't just there. That was here, too.
It was the same
Yes,
way?
it was absolutely that. Because
why
he
do
got
you
his shit
need-
jumped. Remember the next day when he didn't say something
It's not like
right?
he's going to gain any fans by coming out and saying, man, fuck this
But-
white supremacy shit. They're going to be like, oh,
They did the same
good
thing
for
here, though.
Trump. I still fucking hate his guts,
But
though.
if you, Matt Stubbs, know that what happened in Charlottesville was bad,
Yeah.
why do you need the president to come out and say that was a bad ordeal? When you've already got it in your mind, in your heart, that shouldn't be done, that it was a bad thing. Why do we need reassurance from a guy?
We
up there?
don't. But the media wants this narrative to be projected about that ties Trump to these fanatics, and that's what's happening.
Like if I hop online and all of a sudden I see this is the first name I came up with. Billy Corgan said that Charlottesville was amazing, and I was a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan.
You'd be like, no,
would
it
that
wasn't.
change my mind? That something that was completely wrong and something that
I bet there are
was
some.
evil.
I bet you. Okay, now you've kind of switched this up a little bit because
why do I need an outside
you don't.
influence
You don't. But
to tell
still,
me that it's right or
you
good?
you
Why do
don't-
I need
you
the
don't
president
need that.
to tell me that?
You don't. But
it's all PR.
yeah, and you okay.
And that's
the
what they were
Billy
saying.
Corgan,
Was like, why
the
does,
Billy Corgan example, that there are people that do stupid things because they hear celebrities say and do something. So that's
I guess because we're not weak-minded like those
Well,
type of people. Like
or we're just not as I don't know.
I saw a deal while I was over there that James Hetfield came out on one of their live shows.
He's gay now?
No, he said that,
Oh.
we're against racism and Charlottesville was a bad deal and blah, 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 and here's creeping death. Blah. But it was like,
Who cares?
who cares? Why do I need you to reaffirm what I already feel was bad in my, was a
Well,
bad
that's
thing.
what was
Why
going
do I
on
need
here,
the
too.
president to? Why? And that was like
Trump-
over there. They were saying was, why do the U.S. people need the president to reassure that something is good or bad?
We gave them all too much goddamn power, so their words carry more weight. And like, well, fucking give them less. Take away that executive order checkbook that he can fucking write all the time, and all the other presidents before him just wrote blank checks. Like, oh, fuck Congress, Supreme Court, here's an executive order. I'm just like, stop making us so goddamn powerful so it doesn't matter that much. Well, it'll matter less when they fuck up and don't do what we want to, or what one side doesn't want and the other side care less. Or...
He needs to put an executive order out that says that stores can't sell more than X many tiki torches to one customer.
Oh, it's a red flag right there, man.
Total red flag.
You're just going to get...
Like, if I go to
10
Home
people
Depot
coming in,
tomorrow,
buying
I
20
have
each.
this nice walkway leading back here, and I'd like to line it with tiki torches. If I go up there and buy 10 tiki torches, does that automatically put me on some type of list?
They should have gotten a tiki torch app.
How about this? How about this? What if you
did that?
What if you go to Sports
with their
Cuts?
phone?
Hey, what if you go to Sports Cuts? Like, you know what the most popular haircut right now to get at Sports Cuts is? Tiki torch, guys. Hitler.
I was going to. It's getting hot, and I'm
gonna go ahead and do it.
I've got about 8 inches
Only
hanging off the
if you
top of
do
my
this.
head, and I was gonna shave it all off. Did you see my Magnum PI while I was in Venice?
No, but hey,
missed
are
it.
you
in
how,
Venice? I
how
shaved
caught
my
up?
whole beard and everything off, and I
Yeah.
left the Magnum PI, and I put my hat on. I had my Dallas Cowboys hat, and I put it on low, and I did a
because they still think that's cool.
Do you have a
over there.
Hawaiian shirt?
of me going dun 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 dun.
Did you have a Hawaiian shirt on?
I did not. I
No,
didn't
it
have.
doesn't work, man.
I think
Did you
I
have
had
hairy
a
chest
striped
going?
shirt. Yeah.
So
I took the hair off my face and put it right here. in my
How
chest.
caught up are you on No Agenda?
I'm all caught up now.
Are you? So did you hear?
I had a lot of long flights.
Did you hear Dvorak's great idea about the Washington? I mean, not the Lincoln Memorial in D.C. or was it? Yeah, it was Lincoln Memorial.
I don't remember.
Or it was either Lincoln or Thomas Jefferson. One of them. He was saying to go up with a Sharpie or some spray paint and just instead of tearing the statue down, just do a little
put a little black
little Hitler stash with a Sharpie.
Yeah, because they got into the Charlie Chaplin. No one can ever wear that mustache ever again.
No one can never name their son Adolf.
Nope.
Ever again.
No, I think
for me.
Adolf is still probably
Adolf?
a word, but Hitler's totally been stamped out. That's a word you can't.
You can't.
What
use
if your
it.
last name was Hitler?
What about Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
I don't know. Look at that birth certificate. It might be Adolf Lundgren.
Yeah.
But, so
put
you
a
just take
Dolph
off the
on it.
A, then you're Dolph. That's cool. That's Amore.
Yeah. Imagine if you're a comedian and your last name was Hitler. That'd be a rough sell, huh?
Uh-oh.
On stage tonight is Hitler.
The funniest part would be don't acknowledge it.
I would go as Adolfo, so they wouldn't know. Adolfo Hitler.
See, that's the thing is that it hasn't been stamped out for Hispanic names, so
Yeah.
Adolfo's still a word out
Alfonso Hitler. Would that work? No, it's not even close. That's stupid.
I don't think
Sorry.
so. Anyway.
See, that's why I don't come out to Sunshine and do comedy.
So let's cheer things up for a minute. Real quick. The Fort Worth Weekly Best of issue is out.
So,
or the voting. The voting ballot is out.
so
And
it's time to start whacking them
the
off,
ski
huh?
pole.
For the
Start
third
ski
year in a
polling our
row, I've been
friends.
snubbed for best comedian because
You know what?
they
You're not going
say
to this time.
it's not a category or some shit
We're
like
writing
that.
it in.
So
There is a comedian category this year, isn't there?
I don't believe so. There never has been.
But there is a podcast.
so that's why I
category.
always say I'm snubbed because there's not even a category.
And we just want to say why we're not this year going to make such crazy videos like we did last year and openly
We're
campaign.
not?
Do you want to? We have till September 5th.
I am open
Yeah.
to host the awards. They pay me something.
You should.
I don't know if this even has a host. I think they just give them out. I mean, we had to
They
get
need a host, man. Come on.
we
I don't
had-
think they have an award ceremony.
Someone that needs
We
press like
we
me.
had to get a third-party trophy from someone else.
Oh.
Someone sent this to us, so
Yeah, that's Sam's choice. We got that from. No, that was Costco. We got that from, right?
I don't. Who sent it to us?
Hey, put it up so they can see the what it says.
Or the chest.
Yeah, the chest.
So yeah, we had to have fans send us stuff. Speaking of fans, oh wait, back to that. There is a podcast category, and instead of us doing these crazy campaign things this year, because we're working on things within the show.
We're working
to
some
make
things
them
out.
better, to make it better, to make it bigger, to make it larger, and we don't have time to worry.
No,
about
remember at the beginning of the
campaigning?
year, I was like, 2017 is going to be our year.
Well, this is it. This
Give
is
me a
it.
shot, Brittany.
A bunch of doors were opened in this last month, so we're going to walk through them all. But there is a podcast category, and you can put our name in there. Jerry Jonestown Massacre won't hurt us. Or you can put Funky Town Podcast. You can put Intoxicated Gamer. You can put Off Radar. Just put a name in there. That's all we care about.
No. Put Jerry Jonestown Massacre in there.
But yes, put Jerry Jonestown Massacre in there. If you're listening to us, just go ahead and do that. And you have to put
Those
15
other
categories.
podcasts, they're in that Tiki Torch Club thing going on and stuff. I've seen them.
I think I saw them on some of those videos while I was
Did
overseas.
you get them fired? That's what I find so funny about it. Just like, you got fired. That's great.
Oh, the guys.
So another thing we saw was,
that's what
or that we got in the mail when I got back. Open up the mail, and our friends from the Methinks happened to be
the Methinks
merchandise
geniuses.
And
There will
I
not be
think-
another band that we know locally
care.
that can out-merch
You can't
them.
merch all this.
You can't out-merch the Methinks because they're from Haltom City.
You can't. And they made us these. If you're watching on our video stream that we're using on YouTube tonight, first time ever, this is a Methinks air freshener that is going to hang in my car. It's the new car smell.
Does it smell like fog?
The
Not
band-
the band, no.
It does. It
I really
smells
haven't
like-
seen much of the Methinks, but I've walked into
You
the
can't
venue
see 'em.
after they done
You can't
playing.
see
Yeah.
'em.
You can't.
You just
can't see
opened
them.
yours.
I am. I'm opening it.
You
'cause
just
it's gonna go in my
devalued
car.
that by like
Why?
30 cents.
I am hanging this up with pride
We're gonna put it
in
up
my
there.
car. No, we don't have any
me
bodies
smell it.
laying in here. Oh, that smells like new car, and a little bit of.
Ooh, little leather.
You know what it smells like?
It smells like new car and leather.
It smells like trash pockets and marlin after they've been to the range.
It smells like some man must.
Some big man.
I can't
must,
place.
some
Yeah, that I definitely
sexiness.
smell
It's
like
manly.
a hint of Granddad's cologne.
It's definitely manly.
Mm.
Oh yeah. That's
Smell it.
That's pure Granddad right there.
Producer, you
Mm.
smell that.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
That's something you
It's,
can take a hit of.
Kind of makes me a little hard
Whoa. Jeez.
thinking about Granddad.
Whoa.
What?
Huh?
Is this still on? Hello? Oh, it's greatness.
There's one band that will
Thank
never
you,
be
Marlon.
out-merched.
No one can. Look how much merch of theirs we have in here.
No.
It's all over the place.
I've
It's
also
greatness.
at my house. I have a coffee mug. I have
I have a coffee mug.
I have a book bag.
Yeah, you got the book bag. I didn't get a book bag.
We've got several shirts.
I've got
We've
every
got
shirt.
coasters in here.
Got all of them.
No slam on the meat things,
coasters.
but Kiss.
Dude.
I think Kiss has the market cornered
You know
on
what they should do?
everything with our fucking faces on it.
No,
Is Marlon
me thinks
listening?
are second,
Is he
Hey, no,
listening?
More power to them. You know,
and then maybe Disturbed.
diversify your revenue streams. I don't give a shit. I'm
Hey,
supportive
is
of that.
Marlon still listening?
Hey, you know what?
You know what he should do? What they should do? They should and you should get in on this. They need to do a Methinks poster.
You know what we need to do?
A Methinks poster.
Tim? Go for it. No, we need to hook them up with BioWorld
Yeah.
and get all licensing for them to BioWorld, and then we get
Let them-
socks.
A leaf. Or is that in?
Leaf can make them Methinks socks.
Yeah.
And then
And then I can sell it
what's Chad do
on
over
eBay.
there? Chad from Royal Sons and Johnny from Royal Sons both work there, right?
Yep.
And they make things.
No, I think they're in IT.
Oh, they don't? No, they don't make things.
I don't think so. I think that's a leaf.
If my sister was still there, it'd be definite in.
Yeah. You're dropping the ball on these drops, too.
Man, we're going to do it. Which one? Which one do you want? Do you want this one?
You have a Muslim on your America show. I don't know how good you're going to do on the ratings.
Yeah.
Or do you want her creepy one? That one scares the fuck out of me.
Use, pige, mise,
And I want Tama. You missed him.
Where's Tama?
No.
Tamasu?
I'm still here.
Oh,
There
there
he
he
goes.
is.
Hello?
Yes.
She's got some nice boobs on her. What that butt do?
We have a whole column dedicated to a leaf now.
How many drops does she have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So she almost has as many as Seth did.
Yeah, she has as many as Curb Your Enthusiasm has on here. What
Do
I'm
it.
looking at. Which one? Which
You
one do
know.
you want?
Jism! Grandma! Cock!
So great.
I want Trump to do that during one of his speeches.
So the eclipse was yesterday.
Just come with that.
Did you watch the eclipse?
Huh?
Did you go outside and look up in the sky with your eyes?
Huh?
The eclipse.
Man, I don't have a job right now.
Oh.
So I was asleep.
Is this is breaking news.
No, it's not, is it?
We haven't done a show since this happened.
All right.
I was in Italy when this came down.
All right. Today in history.
I thought we're talking about your job.
What about it?
His job's history.
You haven't
Sam.
talked
Jobs
about this.
history, yeah.
Jobs history.
1945, today. Did you know?
I woke up to a text message saying,
Just got shit
I
canned?
just got shit canned. And it was like, I turned over and I looked at Jennifer and said, look at this. Is this for real? And this was in the Drag the Ocean thread. So then all the other guys had to shit on you and piss on you.
No, yeah. And offer me legal
I liked
help.
the legal advice because there
legal
were
advice. Free legal advice.
I swear to God, I woke up and it said 286 new messages.
Yeah, it was all legal.
And I went,
all a bunch of
what
legal
the
stuff.
fuck happened? I thought one of y'all had died.
Yeah,
I
that's
totally did. When
triple
I saw
digits
that,
is
I was
death
going,
level
no.
material. That's
286 notifications, and I went in there and looked, and it was all y'all talking about that, and that was a good hour read before I could respond. Like all that happened overnight.
Wait, so what happened? Or can you talk about it? Or do you care? Sensitive?
No, it's
a
not
sensitive
sensitive.
subject?
It's all silly. It was a silly company.
Well, as long
I
as
shouldn't
it's
even
He
been
was just
working
waiting
there.
for it.
Yeah, I was waiting.
He was
for
waiting for it.
I'd mailed that job in about 2 years. When did I get hired there?
What's
About
funny
2
is
years ago.
you keep having these phases of where you
Just mailed
like,
it in.
You mail it in, and then you're like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna make this company money."
Yeah.
For about 2 months, and then you're like,
This company sucks.
Screw
What, I make
Mormons.
them money? Ugh.
That's how I justify myself slacking off at a job. I pretend that I'm overqualified for a company and stuff, and then just slack off.
So are you going
it's
to go
like-
after her? I mean, Josh's legal advice was really good.
I don't know.
Did
We'll
he send
see.
a letter with my name and O'Hearn?
Uh,
O'Hearn and Schneider Law Firm?
That sounds like a real law firm, actually. O'Hearn and Schneider.
The
team
German
that fights for
and
you.
Irish team coming at you.
God, coming at you.
Coming at you.
It's like Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Coming at you.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to know what happened today in 1945?
Yeah, go ahead.
Soviet troops land at Port Arthur.
Is that outside like Stalingrad or Leningrad or
Texas?
It says 1945.
Oh,
This
Port
day,
Arthur.
1945. Soviet troops land at Port Arthur. It's weird, huh? You think we would know about that in living in Texas and everything?
When you were young, did you ever watch the movie Ruskies?
Bruce, I watched.
Where those kids find a Russian sailor?
Yeah.
And they try to get him back to his submarine. They keep him all
Vaguely
secret
remember
stuff.
that.
Remember that? That's pretty good.
But I remember Red Dawn.
Yeah, Red Dawn's.
Did Red
stable.
Dawn? Did they remake Red Dawn?
Yes.
I think they did.
And the
Did
Koreans
anyone
attacked.
watch it?
Yes, the
No.
Koreans attacked.
Really?
They have enough? I didn't realize they...
What's funny?
South
that's
Koreans
the other
couldn't
thing.
warn
Took
us
over
about that?
California.
Did you? While you were gone, we also had a almost had a nuclear holocaust too. Did you know about that?
You know Euro's opinion of that?
A bunch of horse shit. They're like, whatever.
That is the Euro opinion of all of North Korea versus the U.S. stuff.
They're like,
It's laughable.
it is funny. Some of the stuff that guy says.
It's funny when you're unreachable, like we were
if
for
you're
so
in
long.
Guam. If you live in Guam,
It's not
it's
funny.
not
Well,
so
it's funny.
funny.
They
man.
even retracted the Guam thing, so it's just kind of like, oh, everyone was on edge for like a day, and then it was just like, oh no, we're just kidding about Guam.
That could have been
It's
it.
like, good God, like
That could have been it. I was in Italy, and there's a ton of missile batteries between Italy and North Korea, so they could shoot anything down.
yeah,
So
because
you're
like
right.
Russia's gonna put a stop to it. North Korea's kind of like, or no, I mean, China's just kind of like, hey, fucking knock it off.
I think that's what happened.
But that's
actually.
as loud as we're gonna be about it. But it's like, seriously, knock it off. But,
Yeah, I think they're like, yeah, okay, dude.
And-
This Trump guy, we
so
don't know
weird.
about him.
nobody
only-
likes him really.
Like Obama was he was cool. Like he smoked weed and played basketball. But this Trump dude, we don't know, man. Knock it off.
When I was leaving Rome,
He has a tiki torch.
when I was leaving Rome on the bullet
No.
train, no,
No.
he doesn't. No.
No tiki torch jokes.
The thing I saw on the station was that Russia pretty much said, "You're on your own."
Did they go? He dies.
No, they said
He dies.
it said something like, "If you attack North Korea, you're on your own." And then China backed them up, and all of them have said, "If you attack the U.S., you're on your own."
Oh, okay. So my bad. I thought you
Yeah.
were saying that Russia and everyone was saying you attack North Korea, and that's all you.
No,
US.
no. If North Korea attacks the U.S., you're on your own.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Well, yeah.
was
Any
reading.
that's normal. That's that's like
He's not gonna attack the U.S. He just wants a place. He's
He's got a place. That's what's so weird about it. It's like,
It
what happened to
is.
all the I hear from all CIA taking out Latin and South American
Well,
leaders and installing
yeah.
their own puppets. I'm just like, why haven't we done that? Oh yeah, maybe because China's connected. They'll be like,
Yeah.
if you do that, fuck
Well,
you.
yeah.
We're gonna.
if we were to go in and see all their
I just
nuclear
figured
arms,
that out
like all of a sudden they sent in a submarine and Brian and Stubbs landed in freaking North Korea and we're like Black Ops. They say that all the nuclear material that we find that they've been making and stuff would have Chinese directions and stuff on it. Like it's kind of like the oil field. Like if you go to the oil field, there's a lot of companies that use stuff that they brought in from China.
Yeah.
And like, why are the directions on this fuel this centrifuge in Chinese? It's because it was supplied by China, right? Everything's cheap there.
Yeah.
Same with nuclear arms. It's like
Look at the inside of your iPhone.
it's like you could
It's all
probably
in
get
China.
you could probably get a nuclear reactor on Wish.
Chinese. You probably could on Wish. Now, would it work? That's the question.
I don't know. Some of their AR accessories work pretty well.
Do they? I mean, have you really fired 300 rounds to
Is
that
that- so-
handguard to see if it
Is
melted
that
or not?
is that the reason a lot of North Korean missiles just go boom?
Yeah. You need to get that handguard,
The Wish handguard?
fire about 300
Test it
rounds
out.
through it, and see if it melts in your hand.
Yeah. Well, have you all heard the new North Korean news that came out today?
No.
You guys watch the news
No.
today at all?
And I've been here for
He thinks
this.
I watch the news too much.
Well, that's all
he
you
thinks
got
I'm turning
to do
to my
right
That's
now.
all
dad
you
now.
ever watch.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do now, right?
Him and Brittany think that I'm old man now. Like the sunglasses that I got with the leopard prints,
You're not
they've gone to
wrong.
my head.
Oh, you're not wrong.
I
Either.
know I'm not. All you do is play Xbox and watch the news.
Whoa.
Oh God.
Now we have a witness.
So I had
First
one
off, we
sibling
had
come
your
on and
daughter.
said I was a racist when I play Xbox.
Your daughter,
Oh, everybody is.
and now your son.
Newly
Newly
acquired,
acquired.
son. Yeah,
Newly
that's what we call
acquired.
him. Anyway, so the news
I like
today,
that title.
getting back,
Newly acquired.
the
Like
the
you
news
just
today.
got picked up. Like
He's my
I was-
newly acquired son.
I was at Kmart the other day, and I just bought a son. Like what? The,
Oh yeah, you weren't at the last jam, were you?
no.
When yeah, he's part of the band now. He's newly acquired roadie.
Were you topless too?
He
I
almost.
wasn't at that one.
Oh yeah, he
No,
didn't
you
go to
weren't?
that
You
one.
didn't go-
But anyway, the news today is this is funny. Like this has to be the media. There's no like what? Okay, if there was another, I'll let you guys try to guess this. Don't look at the news. Okay, no one
I'm
look
not.
at no one cheat.
I'm just looking at numbers.
If there was another villain, global villain that
the Joker.
Kim Jong-un would get in bed with right now, and I'll give you a hint.
Iran.
It's not Putin. Who do you think it would be?
Iran.
Dun, dun,
Close.
Dun, dun, dun.
Turkey.
Where's Borat from?
Kazakhstan.
No,
Kazakhstan.
it's not Borat.
Is
Who
it
said
Turkey? It's not Turkey, right?
It's not Turkey.
I know they're on edge.
No,
about
this is
some
another
things.
villain. Like this is like the two. This is like
Turkey's been doing a little
Yeah,
quote unquote
yeah.
house cleaning lately.
that
so-
Muslim that. Oh, he wasn't in here. The Muslim girl is our friend, and she's from Turkey, so we don't want to talk bad about her. 'Cause
No. I'm
she'll
just
come
saying
kill
there's
us.
some upheaval in Turkey about them arresting journalists, professors. Like I said,
Yeah,
quote
that
unquote
leader,
house
that-
cleaning.
That leader is bad,
Yeah.
but this one's worse.
Oh no, yeah, Turkey's awesome. Like the dogs are.
But that
kick-ass.
leader of Turkey is being shifty.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this one that I'm talking about, that
That's what I hate
Pyongyang
about
Ching
leaders
Ching-
of countries. We
Wait a second.
demonize an entire country because they have a piece of
You're
shit
cheating,
leader.
aren't you?
What do dogs have to do with Turkey? You just,
They wander around. It's like everyone's like, "Cool, there's a dog over there." It's kind of like a Fort Worth bar, but like a city. There's a video of a dog walking up to an orchestra playing, and it just sat down. Everyone's just like, "Cool." And there's a guy I know
In Turkey?
He's Turkish, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, dogs are totally like that in Turkey." Like
Oh,
they're
okay.
just we got
Yeah.
dog. Like they're
One
like
of our best friends
feral,
is
but
Turkish.
they're
I'm going to
not.
ask her about
They're
this.
not bad.
Anyway,
You have a Muslim on your America show. I don't know how
That's
good
our
you're going to
Turkish
do
friend.
on the ratings there.
With a
go
deep,
ahead. Don't stop.
deep Southern accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use pige mente.
I've already played all these ones.
Yeah. Anyway,
Why'd you record these
is no
people
one
for
gonna guess this?
posterity?
Is no one going to guess this
That's
at
the
all?
history that should be erased.
Assad,
Oh, Syria. Okay.
Syria. The new rumor.
Forgot
the
about
global,
one there anymore.
Apparently,
They're all
Kim Jong Un.
They destroyed
and
Alito.
Assad are getting together at the freaking at Taco Bueno and talking noise about destroying Alito.
I know it's Aleppo. I'm smarter than Gary
They
Johnson.
destroyed Alito.
I don't even know where that is technically.
Alito, it's right like southwest of Arlington.
No, it's
Alito?
completely west of Arlington.
Alvarado. That's what I'm thinking of.
Alvarado's there. Alito is on the way to Weatherford. You drive as you
And
Oh, so it's
20 and
between
30.
Fort Worth and Weatherford.
Yes.
I
Where's
had
Aleppo?
relatives in Weatherford, but that I probably was on the Game Boy at that time. Just kind of like, man, we're in Weatherford, and I got stickers on my shoes, and
You got to
I'm
worry
hating-
about
I'm
ticks,
hating where I'm at. Oh yeah,
And there's
ticks.
buzzards.
God, it was my granddad's. Like I'm part Arlingtonian and part Fort Worthian, but my
Hey, that's me.
Arlington. My mom's side of the family is Arlington, but they have a plot and so when you die, you get buried in Weatherford, and I'm just like, all right, well, keep me out of that.
With a
That's fine.
Why
Dixie
do old
flag?
people do that?
I don't know.
Why my dad's even talking about that, finding a place for him to get buried.
Like, dude, bury
Like,
me in
why-
the backyard.
I don't fucking care.
Put me back
Like,
into the grand
exactly.
cycle of things. Why
Like,
are you
I
going to
think that's
pump
an old
chemicals
thing.
in me? It's
I
Like
so
if
dumb.
you're an old person, you watch Fox
Yeah.
Mm.
and you play Xbox. Apparently, you get racist when you play Call of Duty, and then you decide you go and pick out a grave site.
I heard the first. It was just like a year ago. I heard the first like kind of moment from my grandma. Who's one of the nicest, sweetest ladies I've ever met. Which is kind of like the I have a black friend version of saying something. My grandmother, sweetest lady in the world.
She
But
asked you
it was
to
like a
check
year
her
ago.
oil.
I heard her used, and I never heard anything racist in my family from any family member. But they also don't talk about it because they were one of the most boring white bread Baptists that Arlington Fort Worth could produce. So we don't talk about much, if anything. Maybe the Cowboys or whatever's going on. We just don't talk about anything.
Did you not have
touchy
an
or
Uncle
sensitive.
Touchy in your family?
Nah, they just were both all boring. One had great dad jokes, but that was it. And the others were just boring and both kind of fucked up their lives and shit. But
He
I
had
heard
a
my
normal
grandmother
family. What's
use
that
the
right?
word Jew
It's
as a
weird.
verb. And I was like, whoa, grandma, just
Like stop
but
being
not-
stop Jewing that.
She was just
Pour
like,
some
and
more
then he tried
sauce
to
on
Jew me
that.
over. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Was it about gravy or
Then
something? She was like,
I really don't know. I
Brian,
completely
don't be
forgot what she
Jewy.
was saying. But she's also like the sweetest lady. But I understand they're not without their faults. But I'm just like, holy shit, grandmother just used a good old fashioned racial slur.
and an anti-Semitic
God
one at
damn.
that.
But the thing is, like, I've never heard any. I've seen Obama's book in her house. I
So
know,
have you
I know they
seen-
vote Republican.
What if your grandma might, you don't know because you've probably never seen your grandma's tit, but if you did, like, she might have a swastika.
They're not cool enough
Or
for
Dixie
no.
for
flag?
swastikas.
A Dixie flag?
No, they've just in the last
Up
5 years
underneath?
accepted my granddad's brother who's gay.
Yeah.
And he's been, but there was a time for like 15, 20 years that I did not see my granduncle Don. But in like the last 5 years, me and him are Facebook friends, and he's sharing ultra liberal stuff. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. He's going around traveling, living his life with his husband or whatever. And I'm like, hell yeah. Like Don's back.
And you just found out your
my
your
grandparents
grandma's-
lost to modern times, and they're just kind of like, all right, let's bring Don back in the picture. Because you got me and, I don't know,
Maybe
Hell,
your
the-
parties. Maybe your family's kind of having a coming out party, like
Like,
they're
we'll
getting-
see
they're getting
Don on the
freaked out by all these
holidays,
events, man.
and he'll bring, I don't even know, like, the thing is, though, I'm like, dude, I want to fucking hang out with Don. Like, he's got, like, a goddaughter somewhere.
How old
or-
is Don?
Oh, so
Uncle
my
Don.
granddad's, like, 84. Don's probably got to be in his late 70s, maybe
He might have been
early
Uncle
80s.
Touchy.
No, he's not. He was great. Like, they shoved him out of the picture for a while. Because they're, like...
Just because he was gay.
They're Baptists, so but they're not like I never heard any like anti-gay stuff and racial stuff except for that one time.
The Jew joke.
It wasn't even a joke. But the thing is,
Well,
the
her
way,
making it a
the
verb.
way she said it
Yeah.
was such an old school, nonchalant kind of way. Though I couldn't really be mad just because I was just like, yeah. She's like, and then this, then he tried to Jew me out of this, and I was just like, whoa. I'm like, okay. I'm like. it's kind of like the next thing coming around the bend is gyp because it's like gypsy. He
What's
tried
funny
to
to
gyp
me
me,
is that
but like
Gyp.
nobody's really offended
What's
by
funny
that.
to me is that you have all your family and stuff is from Tarrant County. It sounds like like older from Tarrant County.
My granddad's been Metroplex. Like they lived in Irving for a while, in
And you
Arlington.
never heard an in joke ever at
No.
any of your family
I
functions.
never heard that word in my family at all on either side, mom or dad.
Wow.
But then again,
Just do
like
a documentary
we
about
didn't-
your family.
No, we're so boring. Nobody would watch that. We're just so when
creepily
drama
boring.
happens, I have to kind of overhear it from my mom talking
No
to like,
watermelon
one of her
jokes.
friends.
You haven't heard a watermelon joke?
No.
Huh.
No, that's the thing about my family is like
Fried chicken?
Like they didn't know.
I don't think you're being politically correct.
They didn't make good enough food to have fried chicken jokes. The food was just so
Yeah.
bland. It was fine. It was edible. And I
don't know where you're going with all this.
There's nothing to
Me
go
or
with my
him?
family because they're just so boring.
Oh, so if I go
He
down,
really
if I
wants my
drive-
family
okay,
to be
wait,
racist.
Wait.
Is that because
I
your
think
family
so.
was racist?
If I drive down to Vidor, Texas, where your family's from,
Not
I'm not
from
going to hear
Vidor.
any. I'm
They're
not going to
not
hear
from
any
Vidor.
racial jokes.
They're from
I'm not going to hear
Junction.
any.
Oh no,
Hi,
you'll
Maya.
hear a lot of racial jokes.
That's my
down there.
point. That's my point.
But we got Mexicans in our family.
So do I. I even have a. There's a
I have African American.
African American in my family,
I do too.
but that doesn't mean that there's no jokes about watermelon at your family functions.
See, I think you
we
kind of
used to-
have to be funny in order to even
we
make
used
a
to
racial
harvest
joke.
watermelons, and we used to treat them with the respect that they needed to be treated
So
with.
my grandpa,
We
my
sold
grandpa
watermelon, so
used to actually
that
pick
was a
cotton.
big deal.
And guess who told some of the most racial jokes I've ever heard in my life?
Now, when
His
it
black coworker.
That's probably where he got
now,
them.
when it came to fireworks
Black co-
and the whistling chasers, they did.
What did you call
something
those?
else.
What did y'all call those in your family?
Whistling
Vidor.
chasers.
They're
It's-
whistlers.
I'm not from Vidor.
Hey, I have a question. When you're probably the only one that paid attention to this, but when in Joe Dirt, when he starts naming all the fire, you mean to tell me you don't have any? Weren't you like, whoa, hey, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, like
Tap
when he
the
started getting that
brakes.
list,
Tap the brakes. Yeah.
they had to know, right?
Wait, did your
they
family?
called them something.
What about slingshots?
That's too racist for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Slingshots, like you.
What did you
wrist
call it?
rockets.
Let me ask you
Oh,
this:
actual slingshot?
Was it
An
I
actual
didn't realize
slingshot.
there's a
okay?
were
racial
called-
alternative to those.
I got a question.
in shooters.
Hey.
Oh, God damn.
Yeah, that's what they used to call.
What
it
did
down
you
there.
call it when you went and knocked on a door and then took off running?
See, that one I heard, but mostly
Ding
from
dong
school
ditch?
friends.
That's what I called it too. It's cool, man.
Really?
Okay.
Like school.
What were you about to say?
No, like the bad one. Like,
No, because I don't believe.
oddly
in that.
enough, that's what I learned from like friends at school of various backgrounds. I was just like, okay, like I went to school in Irving. Like it's now mostly Hispanic, but my classes were pretty diverse. It's Irving, like you're right near the airport. There's like tons of Indian people populating the rich area, which I'm just like, hey, more power to you. They're the ones that actually go to the parks and Las Colinas and take advantage of that shit. So
Who do you think? What type of people right now? Like we said, we weren't going to get into a racial show. What
I
group
got
of
four
people-
white guys in a shed. Of course, it's gonna get
That's
racial.
a good point. Like we led
Especially
off,
when there's
we led the
racial-
show with
racial
Tiki Torch
tension.
talk.
You want to hear racist
Dude, we
stuff
should have
from
got
overseas?
Token in.
Who, Dante?
Yeah.
He probably would have come in. We can get him in.
Well, it's going to be done because August and
now.
July are the racial tension
They are
months.
the racial tension months. Do you
We're
want
gonna
to
be
know,
done.
like overseas?
By the end of August, it's too hot, or we're done being too hot to be racist anymore.
You know what's brought?
Yeah, it's like
Then
September.
the holidays around the
Well,
corner, and then we
football
get back to
starts.
humanity.
Football starts. You can't be a racist when you're
Then we
watching
can watch people of
football.
all backgrounds destroy their brains. That's
Yeah.
fine.
So I spent a week and a half, basically a little over a week in Italy,
This is a micro brag.
and I spent the other week in Greece.
Another two micro bags in a row.
I came
How many
across
beggars in Greece?
all races.
How do they have sex in Greece?
Anal. In Greece, where I was, there were no beggars.
Oh, okay. Oh, you went to the nice part. I
Oh,
guess.
a third micro brag.
Went to Santorini. There aren't
Here we
many
go.
beggars there.
It's not Athens or Sparta, so I never heard of it.
So, what's unifying? I came across all races,
John Travolta
all
there?
creeds,
Yeah.
all colors.
They're right on the Mediterranean. You're gonna get it.
Okay,
that
everybody's together, and what's bringing them together? There is no racial tension over there, because they're all united in their hatred for the Syrians.
What? Like
Oh,
the
because
the
of all the
refugees?
because the
They're
refugees.
trying to refugee come up in
God.
there, and
Did
Italy is sitting on the brink of trying. They have camps set
But
up
it's not
along
just
the
there.
coast.
It's not. Isn't it all of Europe right now?
Italy can barely
is.
clean up its own trash sometimes. I've seen like I was looking up like places that have very hard times picking up their own trash. Italy was one of them. I think there was like a trash river in like Lebanon or something.
I don't know. Everywhere I went was
But-
really clean, but it's
Oh,
touristy
yeah.
places.
You probably didn't go to the outskirts with the maggot cheese and
did
whatnot.
y'all see
getting
that
grown.
video that was on of Spain a couple of weeks ago? There was a beach video.
Where they lined them up and shot them.
Huh?
Oh, I didn't see that. What?
I thought that's
Is
where
it-
you were going. That
No, there
video
was
where
a-
they lined up a bunch of refugees coming from Syria and their boat landed and they lined them up on the beach and just shot them.
Yeah, they were maybe taking pictures of them, and they were running.
I saw
they'd
that
run
one
and
of them
taking
just like
off,
they
yeah.
made landfall
They
and just
made
started
landfall and
bolting.
took off. I don't think
No,
anyone got
they
There was
shot.
like-
lined them
there
up
was like
and
hot
shot them in a row
Spaniards.
to save bullets. You haven't seen that video?
Are you being funny?
Uh-oh.
What's going on here?
Am I alone in this?
I have not seen. That
I don't believe that the
What
video doesn't exist, but
that the dark
I know
web?
what he's talking
Okay.
about with the people running. They're like,
so
everyone's just like,
let me ask you
"What's
this: so that was kind of a like they showed that on all the news outlets, and then the next week we happened to have a freaking terrorist attack in Spain.
Tap the brakes on that because I want to talk about
Conspiracy theory.
that deep because I was over there. I want to talk about that
Another
in
micro
depth.
brag.
When that happened,
Yeah, it's weird.
so
And there's stabbings, which is kind of like interesting
yeah,
because it's
that's
like
one
another
in-
thing.
what was that?
That's
It was in
very
Finland, right?
strange.
The
no,
stabbing.
that's multiple. Like I know France has
It's
had
because
one
they-
outside of the actual shootings and the bombings.
I think they had one last week in
England's
Finland.
had some
that didn't
stabbings.
England's had some.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
because
Germany.
guns aren't easy to
Yeah.
acquire there.
Are we boring you?
No, my clock's still fucked up, and I'm trying to get it right.
Fourth micro brag in a row.
Fourth microbrag. So
International Times. Oh.
It's got an international.
So let's roll into my trip here because I have a lot to talk
No,
about.
we need
that
a whole show
Barcelona.
for your trip.
No, we don't.
We don't need to do.
No, we don't.
I've had people that said they're going to hang up on us when you start talking about this,
I'm going to talk about the crazy
and you
shit.
just heard her.
Who? Oh, Ali? Fuck her. Go to Turkey. You.
Whoa!
I have to
So-
be in a car with her Saturday, so don't.
They have a date.
Why?
Thanks,
They got a
guys.
He's
date.
not teach me how to drive because he's too lazy.
Someone
Let's
from
find Xbox.
Turkey.
No, you said you're
that
scared of
drives
my
on the
truck,
wrong side
never
of the
said I was
road,
scared.
which
He's
is
gonna
gonna teach you how
code
to
for I'm
drive?
embarrassed to be in the truck with you.
You're
Because you're. Never mind.
He's ashamed of my truck, Dustin.
if she teaches you to plow through a crowd, that's not.
Oh man, I hope she listens to this.
Love you, Leaf. So that's what I wanted to get to. And
So if she starts taking you near crowds, you need to get. Have y'all discussed where she's going to take you?
No, we're too
No.
locked and loaded around here. That's what I like about the Second Amendment. That's
No.
why I was like, you don't. That's why I'm not a fan of open carry because that leaves you a statistical disadvantage. If someone sees you carrying a gun and they're like, "Well, I'm going to shoot up this place or rob it. Oh, I'm going to take out that guy first." I love concealed carry because you just don't
know which one's got
and
the
that's
gun.
what that
It's
fear
great.
makes us safer.
so here's
'Cause you're like, I don't know who's
here's what I
packing.
wanted to talk about on my trip
Yeah.
was in every place in Italy, anything that is a major touristy monument or attraction that has historical value is
There's a-
surrounded by Italian military. And
Looking
you know,
for a
And probably roadblocks too.
roadblocks.
Yeah.
They keep cars away. But as you know, Beretta's from Italy,
Yeah, the gun.
the gun manufacturer.
Yes.
Beretta has supplied all of the Italian military for free the Beretta RMX, which is kind of like the MP5. It's their version of the
Which is my
MP5.
favorite.
Is that
gun
a
to shoot.
gun retarded?
It's
is that
a,
handgun.
it's a-
semi,
It's
or-
the funnest gun you can
A
shoot.
submachine gun,
I think.
small.
compare it to AR-15 or something.
It's like an
loosely, loose compare Uzi. Okay,
It's, a lot, it's
It's-
kind of
it's
like
bigger
Uzi.
than
the
an Uzi.
loosest comparison possible. Okay,
It's
Except an
like an
Uzi's fully
MP5.
auto. Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay, so it's
You said Uzi. I think
yeah,
cool. Good
there
enough.
you go. I've got pictures of
I
them. if
played
you wanna see.
GoldenEye. I didn't own it though, so I don't know all the guns.
Great game.
So it's a badass gun, and they all carry FALs or RMXs, and they're everywhere. And you walk by them.
Those are the ones with the long barrel. Like the barrel's
FAL
a lot
has
longer.
a long barrel.
Yeah.
but it's you can get it in a .308 caliber. But what's badass? They're everywhere. They're cool as hell. but they are always right here.
By the
And
at the
anytime
attractions.
a car comes through an area they're not supposed to be, I did see this once.
Yeah.
At night, I heard click
Oh.
and brought up.
Yeah.
Because
'Cause
someone
they
was
didn't know.
driving too close to the attraction.
The vehicle was somewhere it wasn't supposed to be.
I wouldn't even go so close. Oh my god.
And they were coming up. And one of the things, like today, I was talking to a guy I work with, was he was talking about there was a shooting in Israel. One of the couples we went with when we left Santorini, we all flew back to Rome, and from Rome, Jennifer and I came back to America. The other couple went to Israel, and we were kind of talking about Israel and stuff. And over there, that part of the world, they don't, here, when you hear news stories about like someone hears a shooting, the first thing they say is like, oh, I thought someone was popping fireworks off in their backyard. Over there, no. If you hear a shooting, you're automatically on your A game.
But they don't have. Okay? They don't. I thought in Europe. Are you talking about Europe or the Mideast? Because you switched
Europe.
to Israel. In
Europe and Israel is actually Asia.
In Europe,
So
what
the
they
same
they
thing.
have
Asia
tighter.
Minor.
They have tighter. I thought they had tighter handgun and like gun control.
There is tighter
Europe.
gun control, but those guys are always like
Those
guys
the police,
in Rome. The policia, which is the military, is on point at all times. Anytime there's a loud sound, anytime there's anything,
that's because
they
of the
are
last few
on.
years. Because Europe
Yeah.
has completely failed on the terrorism front.
So when we get to Florence, we rented a car. I drove through Rome. I drove through Pompeii and Naples. But when we got to
5 or
Florence,
6?
that's about 12. When we got to Florence, we rented like a minivan because there were 7 of Florence. There were still 6 of us. We picked up a 7th when we got to Venice. So there were still 6 of us. So we got this kind of weird. It's not a full size minivan. It's one of those crunched Euro minivans that's
Right.
kind of shorter, but it still fit all our shit in there. Well, I'm driving it all over Florence. And one night, I'm driving around downtown Florence looking for parking in a parking garage. And I'm driving up these streets. I'm following Siri on my phone, what she tells me to do. And I end up in the middle of a square where no vehicles are supposed to be. And there are people everywhere.
God.
And it dawned on me right there. I was like,
Was it nighttime?
yeah, this is how this shit happens. There was
Damn.
no one to stop me. Everybody thought I was doing what I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Being where I was supposed to be.
Your theory would have credibility if the people that end up driving those things were a confused American tourist.
No, that's what I'm saying is like, if I can get here as a confused
Then a terrorist
American
damn sure
Yeah.
can.
tourist, then no wonder this shit happens. There was no one to stop me. And I'm in the middle of one of the busiest squares in Florence that has all these statues.
Yeah.
The fake statue of David. It's like a huge tourist
Fake,
attraction.
huh? Did you say fake statue?
Yeah, there's 2 statues of David.
One is considered real, one's considered fake.
The one that's inside the museum used to sit outside. They had to move it.
Yeah.
And when they moved the museum, they built a bronze one outside. And long story about all that, why
One's
they did
newer
stuff. But
one's-
the one outside is still, if you don't want to pay the money or the time to go into
You
the
go see
museum
the
to
fake
see the
one.
real one, you can go see the fake one. It doesn't look near as good. But yeah, you
Is the
can go-
dong still there?
The dongs are both still
Is
there.
it shine? It's probably shinier because you said bronze.
Yeah. But I'm
Are
in
they
the
the
middle
same
of the
size?
square where this is.
Or the
Yeah,
penis is the same size?
I think the whole statue is the same size.
Oh, it's like a complete replica.
Complete replica.
When was the one that was outside made?
Michelangelo made it like,
The one that's outside?
oh, the one that was outside that took its place, I don't know when. But the reason they did it is because it used to sit outside of their Parliament building there in Florence, and there was an argument, and someone threw a desk out a window, and it hit the original Michelangelo and broke its hand off. So when you go see the real one that's
It's
in the
got a
museum,
hurt, bummed wrist.
it's got a fusion spot.
Italian
where they
Parliament
put it
sounds
back together.
kick ass.
Yeah. And at that point, they decided to move it inside and protect it. Anyway, so I'm in the middle of this square at night.
This show's all tying in, man. We're talking about Statue Lives Matter.
There you go. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm in the middle of this square with all these people around. I'm kind of freaking out. I just do a quick little 100-point U-turn and back out. I'm like, where the fuck am I? I'm not supposed to be here, but nothing stopped me from getting there.
There's no signs or anything that said like,
no,
fucking stop,
no,
dude, no.
Nothing.
And you know you're in an unauthorized area.
I don't think I'm just supposed to be hauling ass through the middle of a
All
square.
you have to do is put up like a couple little concrete pillars, and that'll be like, well, I can't drive through that unless I'm really intent on murder.
It really freaked me the fuck out, and I got to thinking, later on, I was like, well, no wonder this shit happens over here. There's nothing to stop a vehicle from cruising through.
Besides, like, lines of military that are probably... Where'd you say you saw a lot of the military presence?
There was a Jeep in there. The next day we went walking through there, and there was their version of a Humvee sitting in there with two guys. What are they going to do?
Yeah, they unless ram you, unless they can
so
do that.
And they're
I always
just standing around walking around.
I always heard that the balls that are in front of targets are for smash and grabs. Why don't they just start putting those everywhere then? Like, is that? I guess they're probably going to start doing that.
Oh.
You know those big red balls that are in front of target? Those are for smash and grabs.
And a lot of
places
more stuff
have.
in Europe because it's been there for people have been there for so fucking long. Is it's they have a lot of walking around areas, which is why they've kind of gone to stabbings and using cars, weaponizing vehicles for all that. And, like, it seems like, not saying I know the magical cure all, but just put up some some target balls.
Yeah, target balls are the key.
Rome had those pneumatic things that come up out of the ground.
Yeah.
To where they could control traffic during certain times, like where the
there's
Colosseum
videos of people accidentally getting rose up on.
Yeah. So they had those in certain areas. We could see them, but Florence didn't have any. And here's another thing: the Vatican. Can we get into this Vatican?
No, wait. Let's do Vatican next show. But I got some questions.
I don't want to do it next show.
Yeah, you got too much stuff to talk about, man.
No,
we got other things we need to talk about.
Yeah, like me.
Like him.
But
I got a question
I have
for you.
one question about the Vatican.
Okay, let me ask you a question that you just talked about. Though.
Okay.
Policia is not the police.
It's
military.
It's a combo.
So it's
they're combo things.
Like a national government agency.
I can see why. It's not like they got a broad shit going on like we do.
It's like they're
so
FBI.
They could be like all in the same
police,
agency.
And then there is
Policia.
the military policia, and they're military, but it's basically
like the federale.
It's kind of like how SWAT is with the police. They're kind of the same.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, okay, so there's local law enforcement. They're not called policia.
No, they're called something else.
They also probably don't have bases like we do, so their shit's all localized. Really.
The one that gave me my ticket was police.
You got a ticket?
Yeah.
While you're over there? That's
you
going to be
talk
tough
about that?
You didn't pay it, right? Because you ain't going.
That's going to be tough to go to court for.
Got a parking ticket.
Did you tell them, hey, there's 0% chance that I'm paying this, or did they not let you leave?
Wow, it was $23.
Oh, you already paid it?
Yeah, I didn't want it to reflect on the rental car, so I just paid it.
Wait a second. All right, yeah, back up. Tell us this story real quick before we get into the Vatican.
When we're in Florence, we drove out to Tuscany, the Tuscany area. We went and saw these two fortresses.
Tuscany chicken?
No. And these two different cities in San Gigiamani. I think I'm saying that right.
Gigiamani.
We saw this road. There were a bunch of cars, and a car was pulling out. So I was like, oh, there's parking. I'll pull in here behind them. Shit ton of cars.
Yeah.
We get out. We go in. We tour this castle.
In Gigiamani.
Fortress. Come back. All the cars are gone. Our car's still sitting there with a ticket sitting on the windshield.
Ruh-roh.
There were no signs that said no parking.
Huh.
So I don't know what the deal was.
So how'd you pay it?
Just hopped online.
Oh, just like the tickets down in Austin?
Yeah, it was no big deal. It was like, whatever. It's $23, $24.
I would have floated that, Holmes.
The thing is,
fuck you.
You're with a rental car company, and they can fuck
who
you
was the,
on that.
So, Avis?
It was
They might
hers.
send OJ after you?
You're overseas. They can fuck you on that.
They might
What?
fuck you on a future rental, so you
What?
have to pay that out.
My sister had a freaking meth head steal a car and drive all over the Texas, freaking playing gamble machines, those poker machines.
Did it come back and bite her?
No, well, yeah, it did, but
Okay. So
I wouldn't think that they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
They just track you down. It's like financial aid, huh?
I have family members that have had issues with this that have did the same thing. They were like, "Fuck this, I'm leaving." And the
it
next
didn't
thing you
work
know,
out well.
there's $5,000 on their credit card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the
see.
card you put down for deposit.
Oops.
Did you have to put a card down?
Yep.
Ah, see, that's how they get you.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, what? So
why-
I guess so they knew
Hence
that.
responsibility.
Right.
guy.
Yeah. I would have failed that test.
You obviously don't own a rental car company.
I'd have been like, "Fuck you."
So my
I'm
question
from
about
Texas, motherfucker.
my question about
You're
the
flying
Vatican.
back, you're like, oh, fuck my credit. Damn it.
I wouldn't have got the car. They would have ran the credit and been like,
No,
nah,
you're
you're
not-
gonna have to get one. You need Dustin to rent the car."
All I need for a car is this good old thumb. Saw it in a movie once. Only half of them got murdered.
The
Do they have Uber
hostile.
there?
no.
No Uber yet, huh?
Mm-mm.
So you got to do all taxis.
Is
Or-
there Uber
or
in
bus.
Germany? Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I liked it.
I
If
like
not, there's a big
I liked
that's
it.
a big missed opportunity.
That is a big missed opportunity. So the Vatican, the Pope's house. I have so many stories about
the
this.
Pope's nation.
The Pope's
state.
nation, because I didn't give a fuck about going and touring the Vatican until I saw it, and then I was drawn to it. And there is so much weird shit that happens there.
Yeah.
There's so much weird shit in that building.
Well, man, I
don't
get
even know where
freaked
to
out.
start.
Okay.
There are dead popes, plasticized,
See, I get freaked out
Does that
when I
mean,
run
like,
into
uh,
nuns at the mall.
body that
Embalmed and whatnot.
you
I
know the,
don't-
the body
Yeah.
examination thing where they strip the people down and take their
Like
muscles
the
back.
Chinese-
vivisection. No, that's when they're alive.
Living, what's it called?
not Body
Didn't you
Wars,
want to go
it's
there?
Body-
Body Works.
Body Works.
Oh,
You wanted to go to
They
that, didn't you?
plasticized.
That museum where they were carting in dead people from China, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
know
they
that.
strip 'em
like
down.
strip them. Yeah, they take their like where you can see their body parts.
Tell us
So
about
there are
science.
three
Body
popes.
Works. Maybe it was your mom.
There are three
Probably your mom
popes
wanted to go
they
see
wanted
that.
to put under altars in the big basilica, the big dome, the main room. Okay?
Yeah.
Pope John Paul, the one that just died,
The one everybody
That-
fucking like.
we knew
He's
growing
been
up.
plasticized.
He's plasticized and is sitting. I saw him. He's sitting under an altar. He was
Dead
right
Pope.
here from the door from me.
Man,
Pope
you can't
Pius
make
was
jokes
another
over there
one.
either while you're looking
Dude,
at it
it's
because you
fucked
will
up.
get taken
Well,
out.
I thought it was all wax dummies in these cases and everything until I got back to the hotel and started researching. They're like, "Oh no, they dug him up a couple months ago. He's the newest one, the Pope we know.
Yeah.
They just did this a couple of
Pope
months
we
ago. They just did this a couple of months ago. Plasticized him, put him in a hermetic sealed
Oh.
box, and
Duel
put him
should
under
write a
an
song called "The Pope We
altar.
Know."
The Pope we know. But yeah, creep my balls off.
That is weird.
I was like, oh, that
pretty
was,
sweet.
and I wanted to go
Yeah.
back and take
Touch 'em?
more pictures of them.
You're not supposed to be taking pictures though, right?
No, in the basilica, you can take as many as you want.
Where do they tell you? No photos.
In the crypts below,
Oh, no
where all the
photos.
popes are,
Yeah.
where all their dead, and I took a lot of photos. And the
Catholics, man, weird me out. Period.
okay,
Like,
they have all the money
they-
in the world.
Yeah.
Catholic,
They
the Catholic
do.
Church, that building blew my mind. Blew
Yeah.
my mind. And it's creepy as fuck.
Well, they ran the world for what 200 years. They
There's-
ran everything.
You know, there's two popes living there right now.
Yeah, because one quit.
The German one that quit, and then the new
See the
one,
creepy looking one? Yeah, those
Yeah,
weird
the one
sunken
looked like-
eyes.
Emperor Palpatine.
I thought the
Oh
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
I
Aren't
totally
they-
forgot about him because there's the
German
one
one?
everybody likes now. Not John. Was John Paul the one that was like for like 20, 30 years? That
We-
it was
that
just
we
the one
grew
we
up
grew
with.
up with. Yeah, okay.
yeah, he's the one that you're talking about. Just got plasticized.
Yeah,
Like,
he's plasticized,
carbonated.
and I saw him from
Yeah,
here to
because
the
he's
store.
fresh. So
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
you want that. That's
carbonite.
that's premium Pope dead meat.
How was he? Was he like?
He was a carbonite. That'd been awesome.
carbonated?
That
Did you
would've
see
been
that joke?
amazing.
Was
That'd
he-
have been great. No, he wasn't like that.
Hey.
He was just laying there like this.
But the one that's the Pope now, I thought he's not the German one.
No, the German one's the one that stepped down.
The one that's Pope now, and the one that
From
Just like a
Argentina?
German.
Argentina, because he's a big,
something like that. South America
he's a big fan of the football.
I think he's
I guess they all
Argentinian.
are, but he is a big fan of that badass player.
I thought he was a big fan of Soulfly.
Eye for an eye.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I grew up Soulfly, but then like you hear enough songs, you're like, dude, Max, has your
for
English never improved? Because
Yeah,
it's still
no
just they have some terrible new metal-y lyrics, and it's just like, oh god damn, it's like, dude, I respect Sepultura and those first couple of Soulfly albums, but dude, your English just can you not get like a ghostwriter to be like, oh,
Come on.
can I just improve the syntax over the overall
the
lyrics.
funniest thing about that first Soulfly is you have him all being
Back
half-
the fuck up.
like that.
I
All,
think that was second. That was primitive.
he's all Portuguese and out here
Yeah.
and there, and then you have Fred Durst jump in,
Oh goddamn.
all hip hop.
And Corey
rapping.
Taylor too
Yeah,
in the
he-
second album.
Yeah,
didn't he?
Corey Taylor and didn't they have
Yeah.
the guy from Snot on one of them? I think or
Yeah,
But
they were all
after he
buddies
died?
and stuff.
yeah, I think they had one straight on.
Huh.
One, but-
So my question about the Vatican is, this is the epicenter of all things Catholicism. Why has it not been attacked?
By terrorists.
Terrorist. Why hasn't a bomb been driven up in there and detonated?
Too much money. They got money all over the place, probably.
Are they? What was security like there? None.
The same reason
Really?
The same.
we won't go into Mecca and shit like that because once you attack something like that, all hell's breaking loose. You attack some.
You think so?
The most important.
So you think
religious,
Muslims are intimidated
iconical-
by Catholicism?
No.
You think that's the hornet's
There's
nest?
some things you can fuck off. You can like attack a music festival, a marketplace, something
Coachella?
like that. You're gonna get You're gonna get the normal military response, but you go fucking something deep like that, thousands of years old. Oh, dude, you're in for like all they need, like
But
all
they've
they
done
need
it-
to be
but-
like,
but-
hey, there's a video clip.
see,
This
I don't
guy
think
looks
that-
brown. Let's go after him. That's probably all
think
they
it's
would
total.
need.
I think it's total luck because why would they hold the center of Catholicism to a higher standard that they do their own? Because there's places in the Middle East that have been attacked that is the same prestige.
But that's
Like
usually
they've-
probably by
they've ki-
ISIS or Islam
That's-
itself.
That's
so
his point.
they
That's
have
what
their
he's
own
wondering.
civil war.
Why haven't
That's
any
why
of
he's.
these
That's what he's
cells-
wondering.
Also,
why no cells-
Catholicism just isn't as big as it used to be. I mean, you
It's
want to go back
It's
like
still the second biggest religion in the world behind Muslims.
Muslim.
yeah, but
but
they're
still-
not wielding the influence. Like there's no
That's a good
there's no
question, man.
It's like
there's
the-
no Catholic state thing going on right now. So
It's like the Cowboys versus Redskins rivalry. Number 1 and
Jesus.
number 2.
All
Why
right, so let's,
aren't
yeah,
they-
but Catholicism's more arena
just
league.
marginalized.
Nobody cares.
religion
Nobody's watching
to NFL
Catholicism because
teams.
that's arena football right now.
Oh,
That's arena
gosh.
religion. It's fine. Nobody cares about it because it's still doing its normal pedophilia bullshit, which hopefully reporters will keep exposing and whatnot. We've gone through that phase a little bit, but now your hot button religious issue is like ISIS and Islamic extremism.
So what you're saying is
you
it's
want to
like-
rile up the West and ask for every boat up your ass? Yeah, go ahead and attack the Vatican. That's how you're going to get it. But they're not going to because they don't want that massive of a response.
So what you're saying is
So you're saying that they want ISIS wants a limited response to their terrorism.
I mean,
They want to be hard, but they don't want to be that hard.
they'll go as hard as like say like 9/11, but that was more of a Western globalist.
I don't know, man.
Kind of,
You know who would be a good
attack,
person to ask that
symbolic
question would
attack.
be your boy Alex Jones. Next
Hey,
time we're in Austin, you need to
Gotta
float
get
that
the
one up there.
globalists
Yeah.
coming out
What's
of
it
this.
called when a EPL team gets kicked
Friend-
out?
Oh, demoted.
When they get demoted
deregulated.
out of the
Deregulated.
deregulated. So basically, what you're saying is Catholicism has been deregulated out of the EPL of religion.
I was trying to stick to American sports, but yeah, if you want to go all European with
No,
it,
let's
which
keep
is
it
funny
American.
though because European
Okay.
soccer
Okay,
is
okay,
insanely
okay. Time out,
capitalistic,
time out,
which I
time
can
out.
respect.
Time out. Time out. Now you've posed a real question. So,
And American sports is
in
communism.
American sports,
Yes, I did buy 2
Let's do
soccer
NFL
jerseys
teams.
in Europe.
NFL teams, who would the Catholics be in? Like, we're comparing religion to sports teams. So, who's the Catholics in the NFL?
The Jets. Nobody cares about the Jets.
You
They're
like some
laughing stock.
has-beens?
Plus the green. I'm just equating.
So they're
them
just
with
has-been, like the has-beens
Yeah,
of the Jets.
yeah. They had their heyday.
Well,
Maybe.
if we
I
want
don't
to be
know.
realistic, they'd be the 49ers, right?
Do you want to do comedy over there, dude? At Sunshine?
I'm not a hack, so I don't stick. That's why I don't make Tiki Torch jokes or 49ers jokes. I don't
God
care.
damn it.
I take the position
I see what
nobody
you
else
did
has
there, though.
taken.
All
That's
right,
why my
so-
comedy
3
isn't
minutes.
popular.
So okay,
So I didn't
all
give a
right.
fuck
So
about
we
the
got.
Tiki
So we
Torch
got.
thing
So
or
you say
Eclipse
San
jokes.
Francisco 49ers would be the Catholics, which is
No,
funny.
they're getting all the attention.
He's
the Catholics aren't.
He's
so
saying.
I don't think
he's
that's
saying
a
the
good
New York
comparison.
Jets would be the Catholics.
I'm going
All
with
right, so-
more irrelevant.
I'm saying
The Giants?
no. I'm saying the Dallas
Cowboys?
Cowboys would be the Catholics.
So who is? Are you saying that?
I mean, Jerry Jones kind of looks like a pope in a way.
You know what? If you want to go like big in the 80s, then maybe the 49ers will be good. If you want to talk about we're big back in the day, then maybe the 49ers would be a good comparison.
All right.
That's how I'm looking
So
at
who
it.
are the Patriots?
Wait. I see.
No,
Who's
Patriots
gonna
are the
No,
ISIS of football right now.
No, see, that's where I was going next. Is
they're the
who's
1.
ISIS?
They're the 1.2 billion Muslims.
ISIS
in
has
the
to be the
world.
Buccaneers, the
That's
Tampa
your-
Bay Buccaneers.
Who's that? That's ISIS.
That has to be.
You just pissed off my neighbor.
Why is he a ISIS fan or a Buccaneers fan?
Both. He's pissed at that whole analogy.
So who do you
have
think
a
would be
Muslim
ISIS?
pirate as a
So
neighbor? I
you
wanna
think-
hang
You
out
think the
with him.
Patriots be the ISIS?
Muslim
no,
pirates
no
would be
way,
badass.
man.
No,
There's no
no.
way.
They're Islam in general
The Patriots
because they've been winning so much lately.
Listen,
God damn!
By-
I hope we
by
don't
on
have
the-
any Boston fans.
By on the extremism
that listen
front
to
and
us.
general religion
If there's
population
anyone that listens
increase
to us in
front.
Boston, we're getting
Listen.
shit in the mail.
ISIS is the Tampa Bay Lightning of all.
No. We're keeping it
Sports.
NFL right now. We can't.
I can't
branch
keep
off.
up with hockey references. I don't know who's.
Yeah, we
who's
gotta
been
keep it
big or
NFL.
what.
That's like the worst of all.
NFL season's coming up.
All I know about hockey is a conspiracy theory that if you
Who
move
do
your
you
team
think
south, they'll get a
ISIS
Stanley
is
Cup.
in the NFL?
The Detroit Lions.
I'm going either.
They've
Tampa
never had
Bay.
any success. At least ISIS has had some
dude,
success.
No,
in the
you know
past.
what? You know what? If you're okay, here
ISIS,
I'm saying it.
Detroit's the Zoroastrians.
No,
Because nobody
no.
cares.
Here it is. Listen to us. If you listen to us in this part of the country, put your listening ears on. Philadelphia Eagles are ISIS. Fuck you.
They'll make waves, but they'll never win.
Exactly.
I'll stand back. I got that.
Exactly.
You know,
They'll
no,
make
no,
waves,
I get that.
but they'll never win.
They'll
And
never
they like
win.
dog fights.
Whoa. What?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, I get it.
What?
But they have. That'd be good if
You
ISIS
guys
had.
want another fact that
if
happened?
ISIS had aircraft, that would be a great joke. But they just don't.
Yeah. All right. In 1945, on this day, conflict in Vietnam begins with a group of free French parachuters into southern Indochina in response to a successful coup by the communist guerrilla Ho Chi Minh.
Make Indochina great again.
Did you know that?
Did you
The
know?
start of the Vietnam War was
That was the French.
August
They fucked it up in the
21st?
50s,
Yeah,
or at least
screwed it all up.
40s.
And it was start by the French?
The French did Vietnam before we did.
I'm glad we have a comedian
But that's
in
not
here
that
tonight.
can't be the same
as
like
I
that
try to
didn't
segue.
snowball into the same conflict that we were involved in,
No,
right?
pretty much.
I think so. Yeah.
So that whole shitstorm started in 1945, right around the same time as the
Yeah.
World Wars
Yeah.
or the Second World War.
Hey, that conflict isn't over yet.
And
Vietnam, it's still going.
so it's like
Same
it's,
thing with Korea.
Yeah.
All right, so we had two massive deaths the other day.
Oh, no.
Dick Gregory
Sadly, I know little to nothing about him.
and
But then again, I'm a comedian. I'm not a comedian historian, so I'm allowed to not know who the fuck some people are before anybody's like, how dare you not know about
It's
him?
okay.
Like,
The ticket
there's a lot of
covered
motherfuckers out there.
him and the one you're about to say too.
Jerry Lewis.
Not even. you know.
Oh, I thought you were
I know
going
him
Campbell.
because I watched
Oh,
cartoons
you were
growing
going.
up, and I just was he the guy?
Man, Jerry Lewis,
No,
he's
I know he said
mentally
some
been
fucked up
dead
shit.
for
You
the
talk
last
about a racist.
Yeah, and
That dude
hasn't
was a
he
racist.
mentally been dead for the past 20 years?
I think he's been. I don't know what the fuck for 20 years.
Was he the one?
He's the one that did an interview recently.
Telethon.
Yeah, the
Oh,
telethon
yeah,
guy.
the telethon. He wasn't in. Girlfriend kicked my ass for this. See, he wasn't the one in Breakfast and Tiffany's that did the Asian guy, right? That was someone else. That was Mickey Rooney. Never mind. Okay, clearing that out.
He was
Like,
in.
oh, how you gonna like doing that? Oh, no.
Was he in?
Jerry
The
Lewis.
Nutty
Jerry Lewis
Professor.
just said shit like women aren't supposed to be comedians and shit like that.
Yeah,
So
he was
I'm just like,
extreme. Like I saw.
But he wasn't always batshit. He only went batshit in the last 20 years, though, right?
So he died as I was flying back, or right around the time I was flying back. So when I got back, I got to watch all these tributes about him and how great he was. But everybody forgets about how racist he was, how sexist he was.
Yeah.
He was
How
I
he
always
called-
thought he was overrated.
On his telethon, he like called a bunch of kids faggots.
Yeah.
God damn,
Like,
really?
right there.
Yeah,
You know,
wasn't that in the 90s? Like, that was
Yeah.
recent.
That wasn't even really cool then. Like maybe an '80s like college movie, like
Yeah,
dorm
it's
days in the
okay.
'80s.
But
That's
like
fine,
he
but
went
fuck.
off and like he called some.
That's what
kid,
happens when you have people are legends. Like, no. Everyone can fuck up at any point in their life. Stop putting legendary status on people and take them down when they start fucking up, then they can be like, oh shit, I'm not relevant anymore, and then they'll know to quietly die in the corner.
So, like, I know Howard Stern always played this clip of him saying, he said he called some kid that was disabled a retarded faggot.
Oh goddamn!
On the telethon. And I know you're doing something for 24 hours, but
I'm
your
sorry,
mind
man.
should
I
never
didn't-
leave.
I wasn't. Man,
Nothing should be done for 24 hours.
Did you ever think he
no
did
one
anything
person
good?
should be in charge of that
Sex.
for 24 hours?
Sex?
For 24 hours? Come on.
You thought Jerry Lewis was good at sex?
No.
Huh?
He said nothing should be done for 24 hours.
What my question though was
Not
to
even
you
sex,
though.
no.
Did you think
Gotta
he
get
did
shit
anything
done.
good
Drinking?
though? Like he was in a couple of funny war movies, maybe. I don't know what he did that was that
thought
great.
he was funny, period.
I didn't either. He
Him
was
and Dean Martin were not good.
Hey, Dean Martin rode a motorcycle, man.
That wasn't the same.
James Dean.
That's James Dean.
Motorcycles are overrated.
My bad.
fuck everybody and their
Hey,
fucking motorcycles.
Dustin,
You're
Glenn-
loud.
Glenn
you're
Campbell
annoying
died
me.
too.
Who?
Who's that?
Astronaut?
Glenn Campbell,
Or
Yeah,
country
the-
music
It was
singer,
a country music. Okay.
Oh.
very famous country music.
Name
singer.
3 of his albums.
Me?
That's
like-
that's just the
you're gonna put
general
me on that
response.
pe-
That's the general response to be like, oh yeah, you're a big fan. Name me 3 of his albums, which I'm
Name-
sure he has
And
tons of albums.
And after that,
No,
I
you're
need,
going down the ticket list of people that they give
after
homage
that,
to.
I need you to name 3
From-
King Diamond albums.
Oh shit.
And my top 10 songs. Yeah, but Glenn Campbell died too. The ticket wants you to know. They had a whole day of radio about, and man, he was great.
I
It
don't
was
like
sad
that
that
the
he got
ticket
Alzheimer's,
glosses
but-
over shows that I would see because they're too old and out of touch with the things I like.
Well,
That's
and
why
none of them like
I call
metal.
that old
No, the
man yuck
ticket-
yuck hour because there's
Yeah,
some. I'm like,
it's true.
they say
The
shit
ticket-
that's probably good for a podcast, but I'm like, guys, you're listening to radio and you got commercials. I know you're getting paid a pretty penny for this.
I don't like them because they're the end all be all and authority on comedy, music, and TV now. Like they know everything. They know what's funniest. They know what's good
It's
music.
been around for
and-
too long.
I'm not weak-minded like
Give
that.
me
I
a
don't let
show.
them control my life.
I'll take a 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. time slot. I don't give a shit. You can
What
pay
were
me.
their
I would
views?
too.
What were their views on Charlottesville? I wonder.
I wasn't here.
Probably weak ass takes where they
It
couldn't
probably was.
hold
They
a
probably
position.
talked about it in
No,
news in
actually,
the news, and
I
that was
tuned
it.
into the ticket, and
News
they were
in the
playing the Inglorious Bastards Brad Pitt lines like, "We're going to be cruel to the Nazi," and I'm like, so what they did is they just took a clip from a movie, so they didn't really have to talk about it.
Was
And
the
maybe they
ticket-
did,
okay,
but it was just
so
like,
was the tickets
which
Tiki
was a
Torch
smart
jokes
move.
better
I
than
like
ours?
that.
It's like Jeffrey Lord opening his show this week.
I
with
thought we
Nazi
came strong
punks.
with
fuck
with-
off.
I thought we came strong with some Tiki Torch jokes.
We did.
You think they were as strong as us?
As a comedian who's friends with literally hundreds of comedians on Facebook, I was over the Tiki Torch thing within hours of seeing it. Just
Oh, were
'cause
we late to the party?
that's the thing with my thing on Facebook is there's
We're
so many.
I don't do
We
Facebook.
are late to the
So
party.
many
This
people.
is our first show in 4 weeks.
Oh, that's fine.
We got to catch up on things.
Hey, shit moves fast. If
hey,
if there's no
And
internet,
downhill.
I'm
this
still
will be
not
a
on
hot
Facebook.
button issue. But if
You know
you're a
what's-
comedian and you're friends with literally hundreds of comedians on Facebook,
Tiki
you see
Torches
the
were
exact same joke in slight variations.
But did they
like
make the
Eclipse
connection
jokes,
to George
Tiki Torch
Soros?
jokes.
Did they bring
there
the
was no
connection?
George Soros
Hey,
connection.
you
just
have to
'cause
admit that the Florida eclipse meme that was going or GIF that was going around was pretty
the
fucking
Florida
funny.
one. No, I haven't seen that. Oddly enough, what did that
And you
one?
call
do?
yourself a comedian.
Damn you! We'll show. it
I'm
to you
sorry.
later.
I think of original things.
But
that I try.
what was some of the getting back to what you were talking about though, the what were some of the default Tiki Torch jokes?
No.
Ours was better,
basically
right?
just sharing the picture and just some slight variation. Like I even thought for a second, I'm like, should I create a meme that has the Tiki Torch guys and say something about pumpkin spice? And I was just like, you know what? No, that's hack.
10
I'm not even
minutes
gonna. I'm
later,
not
it
even gonna
shows
touch
up.
this. I think it was like a day or two later. Comic I know made a thing. It was like when my idea was like when Starbucks is out of pumpkin spice, blah blah blah, and I was like that. And a comic I know made a meme, not shared it, but made it, and it was something about pumpkin spice. I'm just like, I fucking knew it.
What
I knew
about
that
what
was
you
gonna
heard
happen.
tonight? Did anyone say? Okay, did anyone hit on
You talk about it. No, I wanted to do-
the Home
Stop
Depot?
trying to prop
I
up our
wanted to
show.
do.
No, I just want to know where we stand. Like,
I
did
wanted
we-
to do
did we come up
Eclipse
with funny
joke
stick?
bingo because I heard.
I saw your post on
I
that. That
saw
was
it was something like so Eclipse jokes bingo, which you got to have squares, probably like 25 squares. One would be something about looking so the Donald Trump photo One about masturbation, like I was told I go blind if I masturbated a lot or something.
You just sound like David O'Hearn.
There was that. There were so many different variations from so many comics across the. I'm not talking about just Texas comics, and not even just comics, but people I know.
Okay,
that
Brian,
use
you're not
Facebook
answering
to
my
make it
question
funny.
though. Did
Did
we?
you?
I'm trying not to. What
Did
was
you
the question?
really expect to see a picture of the president of America?
Everybody
The
looked
free
at.
world
Here's my thing.
To look up at the
I
sun.
looked kind of like
What, he was
around
there?
it. I'm not
He
looking
did it?
at it.
I know. Did you?
Everybody
expect that?
looked at it because
Him-
you had to look at it
I
and
was
then
looking
put
at
your
his
glasses
wife.
on and then look at it. I'm not defending Trump. I'm defending everybody that kind of looked where the sun was.
I didn't.
He was
Hey.
probably like, "Oh, it's right
Wait,
there.
Man,
Let's
y'all
put my
are-
glasses
y'all are
on and look
overloading
right
my brain
at it."
right now. Brian, did
Huh.
were ours funny?
What, the tiki torch
the tiki
thing?
stuff. Yeah, I thought we brought
Oh,
our
that
A
was-
game.
that was
Why
hours
do you
ago,
need
man. I moved on.
justification?
Because he's the first comic we've had in here in 2
everybody
years.
thinks they're a comedian, but when they're not funny, they need a comedian's validation.
Exactly.
This is what
There you
sucks
go.
about
So you're
being a
not
comic.
funny.
Exactly.
Everybody thinks they're a comic
Dude,
until they're
no.
like, "Oh, I can't get on stage." I'm just like, "You're not a fucking comedian." Then
Matt has
Okay,
3
first of
minutes
all-
he wants
first
to
of all-
use. He's
first
got
of-
3
yes.
minutes of
No,
a routine.
first of all-
he
then
wants
go to
do
an
on
open
stage.
mic.
First
I will
of all-
say nothing more than go to an open mic and do it.
the Home Depot was well thought. I thought.
Oh, I've seen so many of those too. So many
Damn
different
it!
takes
What
on
about
that.
my citronella fuel thing? Like you got to keep refilling it and stuff.
I
That
said
wasn't funny?
citronella. You said fuel.
Yeah,
I thought of the mosquito part of it.
I really think the way
So
that
our
happened,
com-
though.
so the combination that wasn't good.
I didn't see anything about mosquitoes though. But
Is this the wrap-up
Alright.
show?
Thank you, man. So yeah,
All right, so let's talk about
I got
this.
the nod.
Let's
What,
talk
comedy?
What
about
about
this.
what about
comedy.
the? Okay, wait. One more,
my
one
God.
more, and we'll move on, Brian. What about the flipped collar?
See that I didn't see, but also I don't know
When?
how I don't know how
When?
one memes that, but that was just good conversation.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
All right, so
No,
comedy here locally.
Yeah,
Is it strong?
they'll tell me what local comedy shows have you been to. This isn't like a gotcha
point
moment, but I'm just curious.
Honestly,
Okay, that's
very
just, that's not like a dig
never been
on
to
you guys. Like, you don't support local. That's
no,
just
no.
kind of because if we were in Austin right now, I guarantee you might be able to tell me about a couple of local shows that you've heard of and you've been to and you like, just because of the sheer number of shows that happen.
I've
Now
got a
with
friend that performs. I
DFW.
actually have 2 friends that
Who's that?
perform
in Austin or
Uh,
here?
here. Used to be here. One moved
Oh, okay.
to Ohio. We had him in here.
Oh, Dave Sherrill.
No.
No, oh shit, that was definitely a
man-
guy that was from Fort Worth and moved to Ohio.
Came in here and cried about his uncle fucking him in the butt. No, he did stand up. He
Oh,
did
never mind.
Quite a bit of stuff. And,
There was a
and
guy
put
from
on shows.
there was a guy from Fort Worth named Dave Sherrill that was from Fort Worth and moved to Ohio. So I was just like, oh yeah, I was like, okay, never
I
mind.
gotta remember. I can't remember
Are
his
you
stage
talking? I
name.
don't think we're
See-
talking about the same person.
Yes, the
then.
guy that.
That's
the
also
whole
one thing
Uncle
about
Touchy
comedy
thing.
is nobody remembers our names. You hear that? No, forget
No,
what they're
no,
saying
no,
for a
no.
second. Nobody remembers comedians' names. That's our biggest thing.
What's
He
your name?
has a
Nobody knows
stage
our
name.
names.
What's your
Oh,
name
the
again?
fuck a stage name. If you can't back up what you say on stage with your real name, then fuck off. All right, we're not bands.
I know.
We're
and
comics.
that's-
We're real
I
people.
I think that's gay. You need a real name, not a stage.
You need
name.
a
Yeah,
shirt that says that. We're comics.
I
we're
make
real
shirts, but all they say is defend stand-up comedy, and it's a gun with instead of a barrel, it's a microphone.
Huh.
And so to me, because that's what I've had to do. That's basically my consensus over the decade I've been doing stand-up comedy. I have to defend stand-up comedy, whether it's from
This is so weird to
because
me. Why would you have to defend stand-up?
Because one, there's so many people out there that think they're a comedian in and of themselves, and I'm getting to a point where I'm like you're equating, like don't use that word. Like I'm sounding like some PC asshole. I'm just like don't use that word. I'm like people think they're a comedian because they've.
So you're saying people have a perception that it's easy?
Yes. Oh yes.
I think it's fucking hard. That's why I haven't
Some
done
people. Oh no, that's what's great is you'll equally hear even more so people say that's hard. But then so many people they're like, oh, I make my friends laugh when we're getting stoned in our living room. I'm just like, well, here you go. You're stoned. Haha. Easy laugh drug right there.
Yeah.
Hey, I smoke weed all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it, but that's more of a calm down at the other night thing for me. But also, you made your friends laugh. Oh, fuck you. You made your friends laugh? You know what makes
Okay.
them laugh.
Okay,
How
so
about
that
making
okay,
complete strangers
I
laugh?
got you there. Okay, and then you said on the other end you also get
Then there's also
the people that say it's way hard.
Well, okay. You have the people that think they're comics.
Let's say that it's just
but
too
also
hard.
on the other end, defending stand-up from the evils within, because like there's all your politics inside comedy itself, and DFW as a whole. You have 5
Where does
legitimate
DFW stand on the pedestal of comic cities?
I'll refer you to a list I saw of the top 50 comedy clubs.
Give me the top 5.
I don't. New York, L.A., Chicago.
Where's Dallas? Where's DFW?
I'll get to there in a
Vegas?
second. Maybe let's say
I know a lot of people do
Portland
Vegas.
and
Oh,
Atlanta.
Portland,
No,
Atlanta,
Boston. I'm sorry, Boston, and then number
They're not-
5.
I wouldn't think Boston's
Oh,
funny.
dude, back
Boston's
in the day,
huge.
80s. Oh, fucking
The
controlled it.
Wahlbergs, are they funny?
No,
No, but
Dennis
there's-
Leary, Janine Garofalo.
Oh yeah.
And then 5.
I forgot about those.
So New York, L.A.,
They're
Boston,
pretty
Chicago,
good.
maybe, and then pick
I got his name.
Denver.
Jeff Davis.
Oh,
Did you ever hear him?
What
wait.
Where?
I think I know.
He was on a reality TV show.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
So where?
You don't
Where's
like him?
DFW?
There's a list I saw, and take lists for what they will be.
Right.
49 out of 50. They took the top 50 comedy scenes. Okay, then again, this was like Ranker or something,
Yeah,
one of those
yeah.
things. But you know what? There's a little bit of legitimacy to it all. So, and a joke I did, and I still have, like I just have it on back order whenever I need it. Like number 48 on the list. And this is what was funny to me.
Uh-huh.
And since there's so many, I know so many musicians, mostly Fort Worth musicians, and Fort Worth's got its own musical thing going on. I'm like, hey, number 4. So Dallas, Fort Worth, 2 cities, a metroplex, have you? 49th, 48th, Jacksonville, Florida. And I was like, you know what?
Raising hell with them Jacksonville Jaguars.
I was like, you know what? Limp Bizkit was a great goddamn joke, so you earned that 48 spot. That's kind of like I say it differently on stage just to set it up because it's weird. Maybe being too big is a thing. I don't know because Dallas is where most of the comedy happens. Then you have because you got Hyenas, Fort Worth, Dallas, Plano. Addison Improv,
I thought there was
Arlington.
a Hyenas in Arlington.
No, that shut down. That's where I did some work there, and when that shut down, so did like the 5 years I put in at that point.
I thought they had some pretty big acts that came in there.
No,
Yeah,
because that was
that was a big
legendary in the
stop.
80s. My uncle used
Yeah.
to go there.
The one in
called
Arlington, right?
the Funny Bone off
Yeah.
360 and Pioneer.
Yeah.
But then that shut down because I used to live in Euless at the time, and that was my
What's-
main place.
I'm not,
Then
and
it shut down, and they opened
don't
up
get
Dallas.
offended because
I don't give a shit.
you sound really defensive about comedy.
Oh, hence the shirts.
What's the deal with comedy clubs doing defensive driving? Like,
Oh, that's just a weird little pocket industry that
just-
cropped up.
it's like a MLN.
I briefly
scheme?
flirted with that. I had the packet of information. I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this.
Oh wait,
But
you got
I know
asked to
some
do the comedy?
buddies. I got a buddy that's been doing that shit for like almost 10 years now. He's been
Yeah.
doing that as long as comedy because it's just a thing you kind of get to do, like material in between actually conveying defensive driving information, and you get paid on this as well. It's not
so
like
that's what it is?
lucrative.
When
but-
do they do concealed handgun classes yet? Because
No, I don't
that's what
think
I'm
so.
waiting for.
No, that'd be great.
That just made me laugh.
No,
Concealed
You're thinking about it the
handgun
wrong way. Like, even though I would
Have
love
Marlon teach it.
No, that's defensive driving is when you fuck up because you have a license. Now, if you fuck up because you have
gun.
a CHL, that would be a funny class that I would like to teach. Be like, all right, guys, I don't know shit about guns, but apparently you don't know either, so let's all learn this shit together again. But so you got that. That's a weird little industry. That
You know what else? You know another place where comedy is oddly terrible is on cruises too.
I know.
Terrible. I went to the comedy
That's the
shows
thing.
on my cruise.
It's not the comics' fault
Ugh.
because it's like they have to do like mostly clean shows.
No, this guy was all.
But
They had two shows. They had
But that's
two
the thing
shows.
is they can have a dirty show.
Yeah. But why? Okay, it seems like
But that's
a
the thing.
cruise line could pay
They
a
also
comic to
don't.
be-
It's probably bad because you probably have slightly evolved sense of humor because just, you're wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt, you got a podcast, you want some good shit. They're not booking comics for you. They're booking comics for Joe Blow and Mrs. Joe Blow who are retired and don't want to be offended. They don't want to hear complaint out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
The hell yeah crowd of comedy.
Oh no! Give me a hell yeah crowd over. Well, actually, I don't know. Those guys got a weird stick up their ass. Okay, no. You want to talk music?
You're not the same.
No,
we're the same,
give
right?
me metalheads. Give me metalheads for a comedy
Yeah,
audience
yeah.
over. There's like indie rockers and some punk rockers are actually, don't have as big of a sense of humor as you think. They mostly want their friends to make them laugh while they're getting fucked up, smoking cheese or whatever the fuck they do. I don't
Is
know.
cheese still a thing?
I don't know, maybe.
That's the
But at
heroin
least
with
metalheads
the heroin with
have the
Tylenol
Tenacious
PM?
D kind of entrance where they're and the Brian Posehn where it's like, yeah, metal can be funny.
Well, isn't that why Jim Brewer went on tour?
Yeah, but he's old now, so
He is old. He is old.
You got AC/DC. I'm like, dude, nobody
But
cares
he
about
did
AC/DC
metal
anymore.
tours, right?
Huh?
He did metal tours just
Yeah.
because of the metal crowd.
What about speaking
But
of
apparently
hell
he
yeah?
doesn't
What
even
about
party anymore.
What about
so-
Chinaman? The
See,
Texas Billiards of
I'm not
Comedy.
even gonna, just because that's his name. I don't even want to talk about him. Just
I went to that. I have been to some comedy shows.
anyways,
I
so
went to 2 in the cruise. I went
comedy
to
in
Chinaman.
DFW exists. Obviously,
It sounds like
you
it's
have-
struggling.
Who's your best in DFW? Who do you think, like your top 5 comedians in DFW right now?
Who does?
Well,
who Dustin and I? Who do we need to go see besides you, of course?
that's from
Aaron
here.
Ariampour, who he's headlined
Producer
the
notes.
Improvs. He has a record out on Stand Up Records. He's one of my funniest dudes. Actually, so I booked some shows. At Main at Southside, the new venue in Fort Worth.
Nice.
I have 4 shows coming up. One guy, I have Aaron Ariampour as my feature for the show next Wednesday, August 30th at Mass. Only $5. Starts at 9:00.
Remind us, that's next Wednesday?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
they're on Wednesdays because I can't compete with comedy. You just can't compete with bands
No,
at
you
your
can't.
venue
That understand-
unless it's a comedy
understandable.
club, which will have its headline on the weekend, and it's your hundreds of comics trying to fill 1 or 2 spots per weekend.
So next Wednesday night,
Main at Southside.
Main at Southside.
Headliner Patrick
About to ask me on a
Cunningham
date?
out of Atlanta.
I want to come
/
see some of this
Birmingham.
stuff.
Yeah, let's go.
What time does the show start?
Starts at 9, doors at 8.
Let's go.
How late? How many people and how late?
See, me, local guy Grant Redman, who's recently opened for Dimitri Martin and in the past opened for Tom Segura. Grant's amazing.
Yeah.
He had a viral video go fucking like almost 1 million views. It was like 700,000 views in like a week. Guy out of Seattle named Joe Kelly, who's good. Some people are like, hey, if they're touring and you put them on a show,
They'll just come.
but you have enough people vouch for them. That's kind of how. Same with bands. Like you have enough people vouch for a person or a band. You're like, oh no, they good enough for this, good enough for that.
Yeah.
So I have Joe Kelly, then Aaron Ariampour, local guy, who actually has done a cruise before.
So what's his name?
Aaron Ariampour.
Sorry, Aaron. I didn't mean to offend.
No, he's a very funny dude. He recorded his album at Hyenas in Fort Worth for Stand Up Records. Because the thing is with
What is
comedy,
Stand Up Records?
it's a record label that records stand-up comedians.
Duh, as the name.
No, there's a
implies.
guy,
Is it a local label?
Guy out of Minneapolis. I met him once, Dan Schisnell or something.
Whoa.
I see his last name all the time. Dan something.
He sounds
Schisnell.
like a Jew.
He is actually.
There you
And-
go. I'm just.
Is it
Pointing
acceptable to
things
say
out.
Jew jokes at when you're doing stand up if you're not Jewish?
I don't know.
What if you're German?
Be my guest.
Because
See, that's
he
the
just
thing
did
is-
one.
I don't-
I guess.
No, he just asked if
guess.
someone, probably not in the best demeanor, but then again, I don't understand why it's important. But anyways, so Dan runs Stand Up Records, and Aaron and a few other buddies of mine have recorded albums on his
Up in
label.
Indianapolis.
Back in the day, Lewis Black has recorded a couple albums. So
He's
usually,
never done anything.
unless you're recording for like Comedy Central Records or you're David Cross and recording for Sub Pop, and you get a Stand Up Records deal, like that's awesome. That's
You like
Stand Up
David Cross?
Records. Oh yeah, not like he got a little too preachy for me at some
That's
point.
what I think. I
And-
totally am right there with you.
But to me, I'm like I love Mr. Show and Arrested Development is one of my favorite shows ever. So that's the show at Mass with Patrick Cunningham, who I've met. He's out of Birmingham. We just moved to Atlanta. So the thing is with comedy, there's all these different circuits that they can do regionally. Just not that many of them have the places to come through in DFW, unless they're not big enough for Hyenas or haven't been around enough for Hyenas, or they're not the latest hottest thing. Like one guy comes to mind, Felipe Esparza, who was like runner-up in Last Comic Standing a few years ago. If he's around, he'll do Addison or Arlington Improv. But then you also have the people like Tony Rock, Eddie Griffin will do Arlington Improv. Arlington Improv is more of your black club, Addison Improv's probably your biggest comedy club in the area.
Isn't Jim Norton coming through and playing Texas Theater?
Yeah, and then you'll have Texas Theater, so
Yeah.
people that come through and can fill up a place like Texas Theater or a slightly bigger Majestic. I've seen Eddie Izzard at
I
Majestic.
saw Pauly Shore there
Pauly Shore
during
at Majestic.
Scrapbooks. What is it? Scraps from the
You can
Future.
catch them much cheaper at Hyenas here in a few months.
No, this was years and years
Oh,
and
okay.
years and years.
And then
this
you
was
want
on his
to get
height.
like the
when
biggest.
he was doing the Weasel.
Yeah, but it would only cost like $15.
Then
What,
you got
so,
Verizon,
okay, so
where like
you
your Joe
mentioned
Rogans of the
Austin.
world will fee.
So how did that Joe Rogan show go anyway? But we
It
weren't.
was sold
I wasn't
out.
in town
They moved all the curtains completely
They
wide
did?
open. It was sold out.
because he was still selling that thing up to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
week
But
before.
that's what he
that-
does. I mean,
So it was
I
actually
think it
sold
was
out.
sold out 2 weeks before, but he kept selling it.
Oh, in his podcast.
Yeah, he kept saying.
So you mentioned Austin. So
here's the
is
thing about Austin.
Is Austin that much better of a comedy scene
town.
than
DFW.
DFW?
So I'm including like literally 4 different cities and plus all the little mid cities. So Arlington, Addison Improv, Dallas Hyenas, Dallas Plano,
Yeah.
Dallas Fort Worth, or Hyenas Fort Worth. Austin, you have Cap City, which is in North Austin, in a shopping center, legendary club. I think I might be wrong, but I think I'm close. Bill Hicks's fiance, I think, is like one of the owners, one of the bookers, or something like that. And then in 6th Street, you had the Velveeta Room, which is like half the
Tiny,
size. Yeah, it's small.
It's small.
So I
I've
call
been in
it's like
there.
half the size of a real comedy club, but it's on 6th Street. They got a guy trying to get people in the door.
Yeah.
They give a shit, but it's only as big as it can be.
Yeah.
But still an awesome room. I've done it a couple times. Awesome.
Yeah.
They have, let's say, 1.5 comedy clubs. We have 5 plus Dallas Comedy House. Let's say Dallas Comedy House. Also, they got 2 smaller stages, a lot of improv and sketch. Then you have Backdoor. So let's lump those into one more club. We have 6 clubs here in DFW.
And then count
Austin.
on top of the stuff you're doing with
Yeah.
Sundown and Mass.
Sunshine.
Or
But yeah.
Sunshine.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
I
the
always
ironic.
call it
That's the
Sundown.
irony of Sunshine. It's just like there's no windows. Why the fuck even?
I always call it Sundown for
Yeah.
some reason, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's fine.
Sunshine and Mass.
And then, but then again, it's the scene. It's the music scene in Austin and the comedy scene is much more integrated than say the DFW Denton. Now Denton probably more so, but that's the thing with what I've been trying to do with Fort Worth for years is trying to get. That's what I love about Mass is it's finally that venue that taps that's close enough to that area of all the people who I know for damn sure are going to love the shit that I book. And of course, I'm in it for me a little bit, but I'm just the host. I'm doing this for the comics, the local comics, the touring comics that I can now tap into, who I've had some at Sunshine. My buddy JT Habersat, he spends his whole life touring. He was in Alaska last year. He was about to be in UK, but shitty weather canceled the thing. He makes his life touring all the time. He's originally from New York, tours East Coast, tours fucking America. The only free show he ever does is Sunshine. And he's done that like 6 or 7 times because he stays at my house. I live like 5-10 minutes from Sunshine. He lives in Austin, so he comes up. He'll probably do a happy hour show at 3 Links. Like a couple Saturdays ago, we did a happy hour show at 3 Links and then went to Sunshine, did a 10 p.m. show. So we did 2 shows in one night. It was probably the best show I've had at Sunshine. It was great. I had more people there than I've usually had who I know will like. JT comes from a punk rock background. So he throws in a bunch of references that if you're like that musicians would fucking love. And he's friends with tons of musicians in Austin. I didn't get to see the show, but afterwards he crashed at my place with the guy from The Sword, Kyle Shutt. So, I got to fucking smoke weed with the guy from The Sword in my backyard. I was like, awesome.
Kyle smoking some weed with someone.
And I was like, dude, I saw y'all at Lola's, Rubber Gloves, and I got to nerd out with him while smoking my weed, smoking his weed. It was awesome.
See, I heard the way it goes with Kyle is you just end up getting your weed smoked. Like,
He
no.
pulled his shit out,
own.
man, and it was good.
Why are you trying to start shit with Sword?
They're awesome, man, and
Good
I
Lord.
wasn't a big fan of the Iron Swan either. Gave me a headache.
So
that's kind
long
of
as I'm
comedy.
burning bridges.
So what I've been doing, since I don't live in Dallas, I live in Arlington, and my job has me out in Fort Worth a lot, and Arlington, HEB. So that's the thing with Fort. So I'm just like, all right, I'm the comic that's trying to tap into Fort Worth. I have a buddy. I've had a couple buddies run open mics in Fort Worth. I had an open mic at Aussie Rabbit And then we went to. Fuck,
What
where'd
about
it start
Caravan
at?
of Dreams? They used to book some good comedy
Well, what
acts,
about
I thought,
Live
back
Oak?
in the
No.
day.
I tried years ago. I walked
'Cause
in
Live
there,
Oak would have
and
shows.
there was like an old couple that were the owners or something, and I approached them, and decently dressed or whatever, and I
Live
approached
Oak?
them about possibly doing comedy, and they straight up told me it's like, let's say they said 5,000. They're like, we didn't buy this $5,000 sound system to have comedy on the stage. I was
But
just
they
like,
did have comedy shows.
when?
They had several. They did stand-up shows. They did all.
I don't know. That's
like,
what they told me. I did stand up
Yeah.
a couple times at their
last
open
couple of
mic.
years.
I don't remember. I remember they
Yeah.
passed over Reggie Watts for like
What?
$500.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the thing is that's why I was like, oh shit, maybe
Jesus.
Live Oak will be an option, but now it's moving, and we all know the troubles it's had. Which I'm just like, well, maybe that's
about-
indicative of
Well,
what.
fuck that place.
And now
Whoa,
they're gonna
let's
be
burn it.
they're gonna be right down the street from me because they're moving over to Arlington next to Legal Draft, and I live
They
right
are?
near there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I'm like, I'll be there, but I'm
They
like,
just lost the lease on that building.
but some of the owners at Mass have straight up, they caught a show right up the street at the Amphibian Theater that does its own comedy series from out of town people. They have this one guy, Baron Vaughn, and they have one this week. I can't remember her name, but Amphibian Theater, cool people. They get, support comedy. I saw a show there. They did 2 shows in one night. Kyle Kinane, one of my favorite comics. He's a guy. He's one of the voiceover guys on Comedy Central. You're watching Comedy Central, you're like, up next on Comedy Central. He's that gruffy voice guy. Saw a show there, amazing. A couple of the owners were also at that show or the later show, and they also knew I was the guy that booked shows around. And I tried to do some shows at the Grotto, and we just a couple at Lola's Trailer Park. It's just like nothing's conducive. The Grotto would be great if you could just pop that in Magnolia. That'd be
so
awesome.
it sounds like you're
Yeah.
in the wrong business. What you should be in the business of is going and buying an actual venue and you running it.
Oh,
That's
no,
what it
th-
need-
no,
that's
I'm
what
a
we need is-
comedian. I wouldn't be able to do
No, that's
comedy
a-
if I did that.
Well,
But
but you're
now
doing
I
booking.
book
Hell
shows. Then my whole thing is booking shows for out of town acts. So
But the
like,
thing is,
when
you
I
said
need
it
to,
sounds like
I
you're
can go out of town and be on good shows like that.
But it sounds like you're getting frustrated with the going against music venues and having like hauling in comedians into
no,
music
I'm
venues.
just trying to wedge comedy in its rightful place with the
yeah,
music
open your
scene.
venue.
That's the thing. That's more money.
No,
I don't care
that's-
about the ins and outs of all
I wouldn't
that.
want to
yeah.
do that.
Because then you got to book bands on top of it. And I'm like, I don't. There's
Yeah.
there's too many venues for that
Yeah.
as it is. I need the venue that's open and supportive of comedy happen. And like was a weird night where I found out Mass existed and was about to open up. I was at one bar putting up flyers for my show at Sunshine. Talked to one guy,
Yeah.
and he talked to me about comedy happening there. I was like, awesome. So we had a conversation. I went down to another bar to put up flyers, ran into another guy and another owner who also talked about comedy. I'm just like, I have something here. Because when the ownership
That's the way to do
and the
it.
management is behind it, that makes me
Yeah.
feel so much better about bringing in a great product, which I can. I just need a place to be fucking supportive of it. And we did 2 shows at Mass. One was one where we had 5 local comics and 5 local people, bar owners, personalities go up. We did like 10 or 15 minutes. They did 5 minutes of literally like one person literally read like knock knock jokes. But that was a way hey, here's a way to trick the area into seeing a comedy show, but also supporting their friends. And then I had that same guy, Mo Alexander from Sunshine.
The guy from Memphis.
Yeah. We had him there, and there was like 25, 30 people there. It was a free show. He knew it was a Wednesday night,
Yeah.
so we did a free show, took up tips. One of the owner's wife's birthdays was that day, so they had a party of like 10 or 15 people there. They loved the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And Mo, like, he couldn't climb the steps because, a little bit handicapped. So he just sat in front of the stage. But he's a
Yeah.
guy that can command the crowd from the get-go. And they loved it.
You know what
You
you
know.
should do, man, is go to
So that's what made me book future shows.
he should go see John and Sally and see if he can get in and pump up some stuff that's going on at Mass. Tap the brakes.
Tap the brakes on all that.
Okay, don't go over there.
Don't listen to what we just.
Long story
what he
short,
just said.
Mass is
remind me to
hopefully-
edit this out of the show.
Mass is
Why are
hopefully
you so mad at them?
my foothold into having Fort Worth see good comedy at a venue they like and support. They like all the bands
That's a-
have already
that's a
pretty
great
much
venue.
played Mass because
Yeah.
that's the thing with Fort Worth. Like, a lot of those people are awesome. I like a lot of those Fort Worth musicians, but there's almost they play so much in that area, so much.
Like
There's-
Meat Motor Scooter, they play
There's
nonstop.
there's no reason
Who's
to
that?
really pay to see a show because you can eventually see them. Yeah, you're not going to see them at a nice place that has a great sound system, but eventually you're going to see it at the chat room for free or something like that. Just like guys, you were constantly in the same circle here.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, but they're very supportive, and that's awesome. They're very supportive of their scene. I'm just kind of like, all right, can the comics I put in front of you kind of get that same support? Like, for a minimal charge, like, comedy shouldn't...
What about doing a mix show?
Easier said than done.
Why?
Because, okay, with bands, you have the changeover. Equipment off the stage, equipment
That's fine.
on the stage.
You have someone up there talking.
That's a
have
distraction. That's
Yeah.
also a disservice to the comedian because if we're on stage, every other time you see comedy, there's nothing going on behind them. It's just a static wall. That's it.
Yeah.
And so when you have people moving,
What about with the curtain?
Well, here's what you do. And we've done this a couple of times. It can work. It's just generally not a good idea. You have like a band or two, and then you have a block of comics, like an hour of comedy.
There you go.
You can do that. And if people are open to that, that's fine. But you don't need anyone backstage moving equipment because, like, all right,
it's disrespectful.
we're also performers as well.
Yeah,
we need the best setup. Like, you don't want...
But if you had a place with a curtain, you could do it.
You can.
Or a place that
but
could gate it off.
the curtains cost money, and not many places even have curtains. Even the Curtain Club, where I've hosted a music band show, they had a couple of steps. I was actually at
They
the
have a
Curtain
curtain.
Club. Yeah, but like, it covers the entire stage, and
It covers the entire
it's
stage.
hard to do comedy on a 2x2 square. It's
that's
really
true.
hard. Actually, I was seeing a show at Curtain Club, and the band is called Helms Ali. They're out of Seattle.
Those motherfuckers. No, I'm just
Loud
kidding.
as shit. Also, the guitar player. This isn't a band that's got multiple guitars ready to go. His string broke, and then they asked if there was a comedian in the audience. And I was there with my buddy Nick, and I was just like, I am.
Russo? Nick Russo?
No, not that Nick. No, not Nick.
That
No, I love Nick.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. This guy named Nick Rash. Dallas
Nolte.
dude. But he was just there, and I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm a comedian. And no one really kind of saw me, but the drummer, she was like, hey, that guy said he's a comedian. And I went up and did 10 minutes.
How'd it go?
Nice.
Oh, it was great. Like, I was a little nervous because I think about that. I see bands play. Most of my shirts are band shirts, so I was like, man, what if I could do a set in front of this crowd? That'd be awesome. But then it actually happened. And it was for one of my favorite bands who was headlining called Mutoid Man.
Oh,
If you
I
ever
like
heard,
Mutoid
oh,
Man.
dude, fucking love them.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they rock.
I'm a huge Cave-In fan, huge Converge fan.
Mm-hmm.
But then you combine
Thank you.
that, and they
Yes.
just want to play
And you put
fucking
in the
rock and roll.
Confounded.
Oh my god, it was amazing. And so I went up there.
Confounded if they were heavy.
You
I
know
did
there's
some-
a new Converge album coming?
Oh yeah, can't wait,
So hard.
dude. Fucking
Whoa.
love them. And
Like-
Got kids here, man.
And then, so I actually went up on that same 2x2 block. I was like, I know where to stand for this. Because I was like, so when I hosted the show like 2 years ago, it was like curtain closed, me doing comedy where I couldn't move around. But so the band was there and the guy, was changing his string and everybody was enjoying it. I talked about how hard it was to be a Mutoid Man fan because you have to listen to Cave-In, Converge, like kind of ISIS even. And I was like, listening to ISIS is kind of weird now too. And I was like, it's hard, because nobody knows who you are, but then you have this web of bands and shit. So I got to unload some material that I can't do at a normal comedy show,
Yeah.
but a
Everybody
Mutoid Man
got it.
audience,
Yeah, they
hell
got
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I was doing a show this was like a Monday. I was doing a show that Friday down the street at Dallas Comedy House. So the first thing I said when I got up there was like, hey, I'm doing a show down the street Friday if you want to come out to that too. So I plugged a show, did like 10 minutes, and I was like, I was still kind of like shaking because you just don't expect that shit to happen. And I looked at the guitar player. I was like, hey, man, you ready? And he was just like, hey, man, you're doing pretty good. So I'm like, hey, this is all y'all, man. So,
He's
So
like,
what-
we're going to go burn one, and you keep doing it.
I want to quick hit a bunch of
I gotta
things
go
real
pee.
quick.
okay.
If-
We're running
if you wanna
late,
go-
and I got to pee.
We are. We knew this was going to be a big show, but go pee. I want to quick hit a bunch of things. First off, what do you think about all the Netflix specials, how they're taking care of comedians? And putting all these, like,
That it's good,
Crazy
but also
setup.
CISO went down. That was one. I think it was mostly funded by NBC, but that was like kind of a joke with the comedians. Like, only can't
Yeah.
we get my CISO special? Because CISO came out. That was another live streaming thing, strictly for stand-up comedy. Doug Stanhope, who's one of my favorite comics,
kind of like,
it came out. He had a
Failed.
CISO special, so they're like, all right, well, have Stanhope launched this because he's just the underground king of comedy. So they
Yeah.
had that. Then they just kind of, handed out specials left and right, and guess what? It tanked. But then Netflix obviously has a little bit more credibility, and local guy,
A lot more reach.
out of Dallas, Jerry Rocha, just has a Netflix special,
Really?
Oh yeah, it's Gabriel. Now, for all context, it's Gabriel Iglesias presents Jerry Rocha. So Gabriel Iglesias, obviously,
saw
tons of
that in my
clout,
stream. Yeah.
tons of clout in the comedy world. So if you're chosen by him, oh well, hell yeah, here you go. Here's a Netflix special. But Jerry's a fucking awesome guy. Some of the best comedy advice I've ever heard was from him. Dallas born and raised dude. He's in LA now, tours around.
I need to go see that.
He's going
I
to
need watch
be in Hyenas in like a couple months. I messaged him about trying to get on the show, but I probably won't. But Jerry Rocha, awesome dude. So that's nice. Now, from a local standpoint, that's awesome to see. Local boy makes good for getting a Netflix special. Now, we'll see what comes out, because it seemed like they were just handing them out left and right.
Do you watch these when they're on
Some. I recently watched the Rory Scovel special, and I love Rory Scovel. He's just that typical goofy ass comic, and I saw him live once. He's in Addison Improv, and he's like I guess you could say, I don't know, a comics comic, maybe. I guess, I would say a comedy nerds comic is Rory Scovel. His special was great. I'm also really bad at watching stand up, just because. One, I'm just lazy, and there's so many movies and TV shows I want to watch in general. But also, there's a part of me that's just like, well, if I don't see it, then that just increases the chances that I'm like, if I accidentally write a joke that's similar, then I can be plausible deniability.
I've heard that a lot too.
Then there's some comics that are complete opposite, and they soak up all the specials they can, and I'm just like, But I used to eat this shit up in junior high and high school. I had like up to like maybe at one point 30 something comedy CDs, which is more than most people have, some on vinyl, and I would watch all the Comedy Central HBO specials I could. And it's weird, a couple of weeks ago I went Hyenas, did the open mic, and there was Kevin Brennan, who's just a guy he's a comic, he's a guy I saw an HBO 30-minute special like in 98 99, and I'm just like, well, here he is, I'm talking to him. That's weird. And it's not like he's Chappelle or somebody in that stratosphere, but it's like, here's this guy fucking 20 years later in front of me, and I'm talking to him like nothing. And so I used to eat up comedy a lot back in the day. But ever since I've started doing comedy, I don't watch it as much. It's probably the same with a lot of musicians. They're like, I don't want to watch that. I want to accidentally get influenced by something. But it's like, I still see the shit when I go to an open mic too. So
you just brought up something about comedians in the stratosphere. Who are your favorites that are on up there?
Well, Kyle Kinane, one of them. He's got just a great, I don't know, presence, kind of like he actually in his stand-up talks about how he's like happy. Like there's a lot of comics that have their own issues and shit. Like the comics are a lot of depressed people. There are those comics out there. I'm just not one of them. I came from a guy seeing a bunch of DIY punk shows. Then got into like rock and metal, and now I like crazy, post-hardcore, post-metal, all over that kind of shit. And so that's, and through comedy, I learned to be an extrovert. So there's no great boiling depression inside of me. So I don't have that to tap into. There's not that, there's just not that in me. But that, I'm just a comic out there trying to get booked, trying to prove to people I'm funny, trying to find my audience and my following and my crowd, which, kind of mostly exist in Austin, somewhat here, and that's what I'm trying to tap into in Fort Worth. Kind of exist in Denton, people that understand me and get my sense of humor, which isn't that like weird. It's not like I'm trying to be some super alt comic, trying to talk about
comic.
Oh god, that's done such a disservice to comedy, because I'm like, just make your shit funny. If it's not, it's not. If it is, it is. Depending on who you are, where you came from, what your perspective is, and how you deliver your jokes. And because there's some, like in Austin, there's so like you get your alt comedy in Austin, because it's like you're so saturated with comedy. It's like, well, let's just try this weird shit. But
would that be like what?
Well,
Someone trying to act like
one of my
Andy
favorites.
Kaufman or something? Is that alt comedy?
Yeah, we get into weird, crazy shit.
But that's also to me when you're at a privileged level of comedy, not your modern day usually it's a privilege, but when you're like. To me, I'm still trying to get booked being a stand-up comedian, and that's kind of all I want. I'm not trying to use this to be a TV actor or anything like that. I have no more aspirations, just to be a bigger and better stand-up.
Reel for SNL?
No, I don't give a shit about that. Yeah. I just want to be a good stand-up comedian that people will follow, and that's it. But Kyle Kinane, Doug Stanhope's always been one of my favorites.
I like Stanhope
because the way he kind of just said, fuck the industry, I'm doing shit my way, and he earned the following that he has.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, he's playing Addison Improv here soon. I was trying to, what do you call it, campaign for myself to be on it. Haven't heard shit back, and, you know.
Is he the one that disappeared for a while?
He's kind of old. He moved
Yeah, I
to
don't
Bisbee,
know.
Arizona.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, he didn't really
He's like,
disappear.
what
That's
the
just
hell?
where he lives and lives in his. He's got like
his
6
own like,
houses.
community,
He has a compound.
Compound. Yeah.
A comedy
And,
compound.
and he's like kind of built his own
Yeah.
little community,
That's
and everybody
awesome.
looks to him as being the kind of sort of mayor,
Yeah,
so he could
I've had
be
friends. I know multiple people who I've booked
leader.
cult leader
that have stayed at his house. He puts on comedy shows there, and
at his house.
oh yeah, and
Does he have a lot of videos of him?
he does a podcast himself. But I'm not sure if he does video of these shows.
Because
But-
I've seen something like that where there was a bunch of people sitting on a porch, like a screened in porch at night, and everybody was drinking, and there was some dude doing comedy. Is that not it?
That could be him.
What's the
I'm
guy's
not
name
really
again?
Sure. Doug Stanhope. He's been around since the early '90s, but he had a Showtime special. He's had a few. It was like the CISO special, and he's had a lot come out. And he's kind of, his audience will drive like 100 miles to see him. The first time I saw him was in Dallas at
He does
a
bingo?
billiards called Speeds.
Texas Birds?
I remember Speed.
Yeah.
And I went there. I was the
on Division,
only
wasn't it?
local comic that was at the show. It got sold out. I had a comic buddy that tried to get in. I was just like, "Hey, you coming?" He was like, "It got sold out." I saw him. That's where I first saw my buddy Mishka Shabali, who does weird. He's basically Charles Bukowski meets Johnny Cash. Does these weird, sad bastard, drunken songs. He writes short stories. He lectured at Yale for a couple of summers. And eventually down the line, I booked Mishka for a couple of shows. The opener for that show was Satan. It was a guy dressed up in a classic devil
hell?
costume. So fast forward a couple years later, my buddy JT Habersat, we book a show in Fort Worth at this bar that no longer exists. And we're talking, it's him and 3 other comics out of Austin, one guy named Norm Wilkerson. He was saying, we were all talking stuff. They've been around the block longer than I have. He was like, yeah, like something, when I was Satan with Stanhope. And I was like, wait, hold up. You said Satan and you said Stanhope? He's like, yeah, I do this act where I'm Satan. I was like, I saw you at Speeds in 06. And I was like, holy shit, like, here's Satan in my living room. But it was just, actual old comic with white hair and a goatee. Norm's a great dude. Just had twins.
Why don't you do
recently.
this, man? Because we want to have more comedians in, and we've only had you're the second. Is it the second one or the third one? Second, right?
Yeah. Second.
So
Don't count.
Send us a list of people we need to try
By
to book.
second, are you saying me and Jeff Davis? Because that's kind of an insult. Because I still do comedy.
I didn't say that.
No.
I didn't say that. He did. So, but anyway, send. Will
He
you do us a favor though?
classified himself
Will you
as
do
a
that?
comedian.
Will you do us a favor and send us?
We'll
who,
talk more
like,
about that after.
especially if you know they're coming through town and you're going to have them. You're going to showcase them or whatever.
You'll do
or they're
every
playing with
Tuesday,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, every Tuesday, and we
That
would
might be
love
harder
to
just
get
because they
people.
might be in for a night and then go, but there's plenty of awesome
But
local comics.
depending
I could
on what it
definitely-
is,
There you go.
We
Send
can
us the
come meet
local
'em.
guys.
We can come down to the club too.
And we're gonna come. We're
we
gonna
got
come
portal,
to the show
we
on
have
Wednesday.
Portal.
You better.
We have
We're
portable
coming.
gear.
There's also, I've reached the
Not
point.
tomorrow, right?
I've been doing
No,
comedy a decade.
Not tomorrow, right?
No. August
Next
30th.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
8:30. It's called Laugh Your Mass Off. I forgot.
coming.
There's a title to the shows.
Laugh your mask
All the
off.
comedy shows at Main and Southside are called Laugh Your
committing-
Mass Off.
I'm committing to this right now.
And I have my
I'm gonna
buddy
come.
Alex Gaskin to thank for that awesome fucking title for the shows, Laugh Your Mass Off. And I was just like, I paid him for that. I paid him a drink for that. But the thing is, man, it's getting to the point where, one, people comparing what they do when they're stoned or drunk with their friends to what I do on a stage. And I'm like, not what I do. I'm just like, there's people out there that do bigger and better sets than I do. But then there's people, and I'm like, I don't know. I smoke weed every single night. And it does not affect my memory. And I really wish it would, because it would erase the people that have told me to my face that they're going to be at a comedy show. And these are people
I'll
that
be
I've
there
known
on
for
Wednesday.
years.
And they never show
And
up.
they don't show up. And then I see them again. And then I have to be like, do I just act like nothing happened? Or do I act like they lied to me and I let that shit slide? And I would
Just call them out.
I don't give a shit if
Say,
someone's
"Dude."
like, if they look me dead
Hey.
in the eye and say, I'm not coming to your show, I'm not coming to any shows.
You're opening
I'm like,
up a can of worms here
oh, I know.
because
I recently called out a guy on Facebook about
I
it.
secretly have this crazy obsession about comedians' lives, and I love listening to them. Their hour-long interviews on Stern,
Yeah.
I love hearing their stories. I love what they're going through. You know, Pauly Shore just did that weird.
While his mom was sick.
He was on
while his
Rogan
mom was
recently.
sick.
Yeah.
He was on Rogan, but that
Lamenting about how his limelight was like,
But he-
I was the first guy before Sandler. I was the first guy. I'm like, dude, you were the weasel, and
Yeah,
that shit
that
was
was
not
it.
gonna fly for
No,
decades after that.
Not for decades.
Good
But
God.
he did that weird movie, and I saw it on Showtime one night.
Encino
His-
Man? Or not?
No.
Wasn't he in
No,
Encino
Yeah,
Man?
I
it's
know-
about his stand-up,
yeah.
and his mom
his
is
documentary.
dying. It's a
The
documentary,
documentary,
and
yeah.
it shows
It's
how
depressing.
he was somewhere,
He was
and
up in,
now
like,
he's down playing these
Montana
shithole
or
clubs
something.
and crap out in the middle of sticks,
Yeah.
and it was very
It
weird.
was in the winter.
You're
and I was all
irrelevant, man. But
I
you're,
loved watching.
You're relevant on Rogan because we
It
want
was
to hear about
interesting.
what happened between your relevancy down to your irrelevancy. Yeah, and sadly, something like his
Did
mom
you see
dying
that?
was.
in-
But he also grew up in a comedy club.
Also-
so.
His mom owned the
Yeah.
biggest comedy club
Yeah,
on the West
exactly.
Coast.
And also, what was weird about that too is the way he did that hookup with that girl, and like
yeah,
the
that
way he was.
strange.
Like, ugh.
It's very weird. That
It is.
documentary
It was
is very,
weird.
but it was very interesting.
It was interesting.
I want to run through our list real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I'm going through my Netflix viewing history.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to start just at the latest. Ari Schaefer, yes or no?
I haven't. If I've seen him or not,
Or is he good? Do you like him or not?
I don't remember much of his. I kind of want to watch it. That's that two-parter one. I know he's on Rogan a lot, but I don't know.
Do you
if I'm
like
gonna
him?
watch it or
Do
not.
you know?
That's the thing is I always get him mixed up with other people.
Oh, I
For
gotcha.
example, Al Madrigal. I always think about him.
Oh yeah,
Love Al Madrigal. I
that
saw
guy's
his
cool.
Shrimpin' Ain't Easy on Showtime. Highly recommend Al Madrigal because I love him from The Daily Show. Anyways,
Sarah Silverman.
I'm probably
Female.
not going to watch that, even though I have.
Not that you watched
owned-
it. Do you like her?
I don't mind her,
You don't mind her?
but
Norm Macdonald.
that one is on my docket.
I
I
fucking
love
love
Norm.
him.
Yeah,
I love Norm.
Norm's good.
He has a great sketch album called Ridiculous. It's
Yes.
not stand up.
No.
And when you said earlier, you said something about
Sorry.
Manhole. There's a sketch that's 19 minutes long called Tex Hooper. And he's about that country artist that, they start to realize, oh, he's gay now. And he's singing country songs about being gay. And there's one song
Yeah,
called The Manhole.
Manhole.
Eat my lunch down in the manhole. Oh, it's a tight fit. Oh.
Okay, let's
But,
see.
Norm Macdonald, that's one I've been
I
meaning to
love
list, meaning to watch, and I fucking need to watch that.
Kevin Hart, who everybody thinks
To me,
he's
he's
the
just
biggest
short
singer.
and loud, and
I don't like
it just
him.
doesn't appeal to me.
Doesn't appeal to me at all.
Even his movie roles are
Eddie
just kind of
Murphy
like
Part 2.
Eliza.
minus the anti-gay stuff.
Eliza.
I can't
Schlesinger.
get through Raw because I'm
Because
just
of all
like,
the
oh, these
anti-
faggots trying to
yeah.
fuck me in the ass. I'm just like, good God, Eddie. I'm like, that
That-
did not age well. Holy
your
shit. And I
80s
turn it
stuff.
off
No.
because I'm just like, this was the 80s. You're wearing tight red pants. Of course, that's hot. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Eliza Schlesinger.
Oh,
As I-
no, I'm not going to watch that.
But
Although
do you
local-
like
local
her?
girl-
It's not watching. Do you like it or not? Do you like her or not?
I really haven't seen much of her to comment either way.
Louis C.K. of course.
Is that I haven't watched that 2017 one, but
It's
I
good.
own multiple Louis DVDs.
I love Louis.
But this is what's weird about me doing comedy this long. I'm like, I haven't even watched a Louis special. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? I should at least watch that.
Michael Che.
Uh,
I like him on Weekend Update, but I don't like his stand-up.
yeah,
I don't like his
I'm
stand-up.
probably not going to watch that one. But on the alternate side, I do like Jared Carmichael.
Yeah.
He had a special, I think I
Jared.
saw it on HBO, and he has, his shit's great. But my
Bill
friend
Bur-
Katie Evans did open up for Michael Che at Club Dada about a year ago.
Bill Burr is hilarious. In my
Love Bill
book.
Burr. I haven't seen whatever special. I haven't watched a special of his in a while.
Amy Schumer. Over her.
You already did her.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you did.
I did Eliza.
Oh yeah, you did. Never mind. You
I'm
did
probably
Sarah
not
Silverman.
gonna watch that one.
So
I'm
Patton
just-
Oswalt.
I love him. I'll
I
probably
love him
watch
too.
it.
You know what my problem with
Werewolves
with,
and Lollipops
Schumer is?
was an
Werewolf and Lollipop.
amazing
The
album.
whole George Lucas stole my childhood
Oh,
or
yeah.
raped me of my childhood.
Even the heckler takedown he
the
had.
heckler
Was like,
takedown
I'm on
was
7 speak every 7 seconds. Goblins would come out and rape me. Something. I was like, that was great.
That's-
That amazing artwork too. That's what made me be like, fuck. I want to have an album that has great artwork and comes out. I think that was on Sub Pop. There's some record labels that I would love to
He
try to
did.
convince.
And who did his artwork? I know the artist that did it.
Oh, really?
Oh shit! It's one of my favorite, or one of the artists I really really like. He does Dunnies for Kid Robot. God, I can't think of his name. So Louis C.K. we already touched him. Dave Chappelle is obviously.
I've seen
top
both
his
of
world.
those.
That Austin one is amazing.
I like the LA one just a little bit more about all
Did you really?
with all the OJ back.
Yeah.
not backtrack. No,
It seemed to be more current
Callbacks.
events, whereas
Oh, the Austin one
more
was
about
great
his
because of
family.
the sensibilities he touched on with the whole transgender thing, and I was just
So
like,
great.
oh shit! But I was pretty ballsy of Chappelle doing that shit in Austin. I was like, fuck it, that venue. Where I've only been there once, seeing Ryan Adams, who had a comedian as an opener, Dave Ross. He's the guy that wrote John Oliver's
How do you
intro.
feel about $200 Chappelle tickets here in a couple of months for the opening
Hey,
of
y'all,
the new
people
Irving?
can have fun paying that price. That's fine.
Shit.
I'm not paying that much.
Okay,
I was
so
born and raised in Irving.
I got
Irving
3 more
discount.
here, and it's not their specials. It's what do you think of them?
Okay.
Joe Rogan, we've talked about a few times.
I had a CD of his in the past. I'll listen to his podcast when he mostly has on like journalists, authors, scientists. Not so much with comics, just because I'm like, that's a comedy world I know nothing about, and yeah, that's interesting, but I'm just like, that's.
I don't listen to his fight stuff.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't listen to that. I
'Cause
don't
I-
give a shit.
I-
The stuff with Maynard was interesting.
Yeah,
Now
eventually
that's
to
something
Maynard.
I eventually want to get to.
Maynard,
It's not-
that was
They were
a good one.
talking about.
I'm still a
But
By the
that
way-
was their
fan.
second or third time he's been on there, so it was just
Mhm.
2 dudes hanging out having
Yeah.
fun.
That's
And
what
was cool.
That's when he's best.
Yeah.
When he's doing that, and when he tackles like that girl from Westboro.
Oh yeah,
What's
yeah.
her name? That was
cool.
interesting too. And the brain
Dana
stuff.
Carvey.
Man, he used
There's
to
a special
be
back in the
awesome.
day I really liked of him, where he did like the piano, like chopping broccoli, all that. I don't think I'm gonna watch that new special.
It wasn't bad, but it's
Yeah.
one of those ones I just had on the background as I was editing
Mm.
stuff. So, and then this is a hot button for a lot of
Ooh.
people,
Okay.
and I'm hit or miss with her. Chelsea Handler.
Nah,
Man,
not a fan.
I can talk to her at billiards.
You can. She's
Or
definitely a Wataugaite.
Yeah, or not billiards.
Wait, what? What do you mean by
can-
that?
She's
Just a bar,
She looks like a
like-
generic Watauga
Okay, okay. I see.
You
what
hear
you
the
mean.
same stories.
girl. Over
And the
over
thing with
over.
Amy Schumer, Amy Schumer is funny, but the problem is how many jokes can you write about your pussy? Like it gets after a
But to
while,
me,
you're like,
it's-
okay.
Yeah, it gets old. I
It's
don't
like
liked her at
it's like
first,
when
but now I'm
George
tired of
Lopez
her.
is always when he goes on his racial rants about Mexicans and stuff. You're like, okay,
Neat.
here we go.
Because to me,
Neat,
that
yeah.
there's only so many, unless you have like some weird, specific, like personal story with something, with like George Lopez, Amy Schumer, with what they're trying to talk about with like Amy Schumer. There was like that video of them, like this is like Amy Schumer rips off all these jokes. I'm just like, well, it wasn't so
Oh,
much
she one of
ripping
those
off.
people?
It's more just being a hack and talking about the same shit. I'm just like, oh, you said you're Asian. You thought your friend wasn't Asian. They're just sleepy. I'm just like, slowest fucking clap in the world to that
Yeah.
shit. Because I'm like, that's just hacky.
Yeah.
That's hacky as fuck through and through.
Well, who was the
can't even
was
chalk
it,
that up
it
to
was Carlos
stealing.
Mencia that Joe
that
Rogan
had the
busted.
whole,
Yeah.
and that I think that was predicated over the whole. It's like they're gonna build a wall to Mexico. Who's
But he
gonna
was
build the
stealing
wall?
jokes, too, wasn't
Just
he?
like
Huh?
Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
no, Joe Rogan busted him straight up stealing jokes.
Yeah, he was
It's like
straight up
maybe
stealing jokes.
just don't write jokes like that. Don't
That are-
write
that are obvious?
Write unhackable jokes. Maybe encrypt your jokes.
Who do you
with
think is
your
the best
own
at writing
personal-
unhackable jokes right now? Besides yourself, of course.
Maybe something like Stanhope. You know, just because of like he's a fucking wordsmith and he's not afraid to go places a lot
Yeah.
of people aren't.
Yeah, he takes these
And-
weird tangents
Yeah.
that you're just like, where is this going?
And you can't. It's hard
and
to
how
hack
does
that.
it come back?
Yeah,
It's hard to
And-
Leno and Seinfeld that shit up.
yeah.
Like Kinane's kind of the same way, but in
Yeah.
a weird little positive spin. Like watching Kinane was amazing. There's plenty of other great comics, and but yeah,
Because
like
there's almost every act starts
Carlin
here,
would be very unhackable. I think.
Yeah.
You'd be-
starts here, goes crazy places,
Yeah.
and then it all wraps up and comes back together in a nice little package. That's basically the layout of all these stand-up shows, these specials and stuff. But you get people in there. Bill Burr goes insane down weird tangents. Ari Schaefer goes down these weird tangents. You're like, how the fuck are you wrapping this up?
Yeah.
But then you got Kevin Hart, and you're just like, oh, this is boring. I know where it's going to go. You can already guess the outcome and punchline.
Yeah.
It's even
you
worse
know,
than that. One time I was doing
10 minutes,
a late
15
show
minutes
at
early.
the Addison Improv, and so we're doing this late show, and so the show before that was wrapping up. It was Joe Coy, and there were people yelling for the closing joke, not like hey, wrap this shit up. No, because they
Let's hear it.
wanted
We
the
wanna
joke.
hear it.
No,
Yeah.
no, like yeah, and they're all there screaming orange chicken, orange chicken. Like they knew the closer coming up. There was going to be a joke about orange chicken, and Joe Coy, Asian comic. And I'm just like, so, and I'm not saying an Asian comic shouldn't have a joke about orange chicken. That's fine. Do whatever you want. You know,
Yeah.
that's fine. You got your audience there. You built it. You're getting paid for it. Good for you. Shit, I haven't done yet. But like, good God, how could like, and this is more of like an audience member rant. Was like you're calling for the joke, you know that's happening, so the joke's can't be that funny because you know the punchline. First of all, he shouldn't do that joke if you're calling for it. That'd be a good fuck you to like.
Yeah.
This is my shit. Also, like,
Did he do the joke?
Then he changed it to Kung Pao chicken.
Maybe. I don't
Sesame?
really remember.
Sesame.
I think I was like, oh, cool. I get to go in the green room. This is a first for me. So I went back there and I was just like, Jesus, they were
I just did a bunch
yelling
of
out.
Coke and
Now,
weed
he
and
may or
all
may
that.
not even done the joke. I just remember people yelling out for a joke. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck
Daniel
you.
Tosh. Daniel
Not
Tosh
fuck you
is
to
that
the
way.
comic. Fuck you to that audience
I
member
thought
that wants
Tosh
to hear
is
that
funny.
joke.
On his show, but
Oh,
his
really?
stand-up specials.
I've seen stand-up where he's pretty funny
You
too.
know,
though. You know what he's gonna
you
say.
know everything he's gonna say, where it's going, and it's kind of a letdown.
You know, it's going to be like a.
Is it because he doesn't write
he
enough, or
mentions
because
a tragedy,
you know how
makes
he's
fun
gonna
of the
do it?
tragedy.
Yeah.
You know, just,
or he goes.
It's the same thing, different
I'm
ways.
from California, ha. Middle of the country sucks. Blah blah blah. So let's roll.
and that
on
shit
this
gets
for
a little
while.
old, especially
real
if
old.
the big time comic has already kind of
Yeah,
paid that path
Pretentious
already.
comedy.
I like seasons.
One time, I asked a buddy who was a brief writer on Anthony Jeselnik's show, and
Who seems like a cock ass.
oh yeah, but I was like, hey, so Anthony Jeselnik, he's like the straight Daniel Tosh, right? And he goes, Anthony, he's like, Anthony would fucking hate you if you said that. I'm like, oh great, no, now I know how to offend Jeselnik.
Yeah.
Nice, I want to do that. And also, there's a whole thing about Tosh being gay. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's funny for him to toe that line. You don't know if he's gay or straight. Cool, who cares? But as long as you can't pin that down, I mean, that's fine for him.
All right, just a couple more things.
All
First
right.
off, what do you think about roasts?
Good for pop. No, okay. If everybody knows who you're talking about, they can be successful and executed. I hate it when local comics do a roast for a local comic because unless the audience is all comics who are probably also like, I want to be on this roast, but I'm not. If nobody knows who you're roasting, it's not going to work. But also, if you're
Well, if it's
roasting,
like Jerry Jones or something.
yeah,
like that.
if you're roasting like Jerry Jones, then I guess maybe it'll work. Then you have some where the roastee is in absentia, so it's like, what the fuck? Who cares? It's like, oh, the popular person's dead or not here because we're two small potatoes for their big potatoes, and then you got your Comedy Central one. I hate them. All right, I take a long time to explain shit because I like to get my point of view across in every possible aspect.
They're
But
kind of getting
the Bieber one
they're getting
pissed me
watered
off
down.
because I'm like, his career's not over. God damn it! You know, give me someone
Yeah.
whose career over, so one
and
you
he
can shit
requested
on that.
it. He requested the
Put
roast.
fucking Pauly Shore on the roast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
His career's
Yeah.
done. He's on a spit. He's well done. Fuck that. Put him on there. Make him cry. Like, that'd be funny to me.
That would be hilarious. And
Don't
Have a
put
suicide.
Trump. They put Trump on. Obviously premature. They did a Trump
Yeah.
one, right?
No, I think he had.
He
It's
got
just kind of
roasted
a
by someone, and he
at the
didn't
Friars
like
They've
it.
been roasted
Club.
by comics for the last
Yeah.
2 years. So
I think he
whatever.
got fried at the
Everyone.
Friars Club.
Oh, okay.
Years
So they
ago.
did some. It wasn't a Comedy Central one. All right. The
I don't think
Bieber
it
one
was
pissed me off because I'm like, he hasn't. They did it too early. He's like getting very Christian now. They can make so many jokes about the preacher he's hanging out with. That's like totally ripped. Like, where's all the gay jokes about that? You know, like.
They're
But he
coming.
requested
Here comes
it.
the jokes.
He
yeah.
requested it
Yeah.
when it was.
You shouldn't
big.
be able. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be able to request your own roast, and also you shouldn't have like
But, like,
non-commit like.
Bob Saget.
All of a
was
sudden
great.
now we're carting in
Yeah,
Martha
that one.
Stewart.
That one's
And we're
kind of
cart-
like.
we're
couldn't be
carting
mad
in
at
Martha
that.
Stewart. We're carting in Snoop Dogg, who they're not comedians. Like, I don't know. It's getting watered down.
Yeah.
getting played
Oh,
out.
it gets watered down so fast. But it's also like it's all predicated on who you're roasting.
There's not protein in it.
Well, and you know those people aren't writing their own jokes. They've got writers behind the scenes that
Yeah.
are writing all their jokes for
Right.
them.
If they're a
They didn't
straight
come
up
up with
comedian, they're probably writing them. But
Yeah.
if they're like,
But
like
Snoop and Martha probably didn't write theirs.
that's
like,
weird.
Artie used to give all sorts of insight when he used to do those Comedy Central roasts, like all sorts of insight on what goes on behind the scenes.
Just by his
It was
snide
just
remarks.
amazing. No, he would tell you straight up.
That's what I'm
like,
saying. He would put it.
This is what
Shit that
happened
they-
on the show.
Oh,
Martha Stewart did not write her stuff.
Everybody
such
knew
and
that,
such
though.
and such and such wrote all her
yeah,
stuff.
so it's kind of fake. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
not a fan of roast. Anyway, long story short, not a fan.
I had another question, but I don't remember what it was. Fuck.
it was. What time is it?
it's time to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're rolling late.
Well,
No.
Brian, this has been fun.
It has been fun.
We went long.
We went long.
We knew it was going to. It's been 4 weeks. But we are going to come see you Wednesday.
August 30th, not tomorrow.
Not
Next
tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
At
If you want
Mass.
to come up to Plano this weekend, I'll
And
be
I
doing
haven't
2
been to
guest
Mass.
sets. But that's the Mayweather-McGregor fight. And I said yes. And of course, I wasn't going to say no to weekend spots at Hyenas. But I was just like, oh, shit, that's a Mayweather-McGregor fight. But whatever. Whoever's there is there for comedy. It's a comedy club. Awesome. And whatever. Game of Thrones is the next night. And that's my night. So.
And that's what I'm going to go home and watch right now.
So what send us over some of these shows.
Yeah, for sure.
You got
Yeah, definitely.
coming up, so that way we can promote them and get them out there because we'd love to get them out there, get people there.
Because I got this one, and I have 4 shows planned at Mass right now.
Okay.
And that's not even tapping into some local headliners that I want to have there too. But they'll all be $5 because I want to pay them something. Because we do free shows all the fucking time, and it's gotten to a point where I want to pay the comics something. Sunshine shows are free. A lot of shows I've done are free, just because I'm like, that's, that hopefully gets in an audience. And place like Mass, yeah, I'm like, I want to
Charge a cover.
Yeah, and $5, I'm like, that's manageable. That's a drink. So
For sure,
not?
man. For sure. I'm looking forward to coming out next
the hell?
Wednesday. Okay. You all right?
Yeah. I don't know.
We're about to roll the credits.
I
What's
know
going
we're
on here?
rolling credits. Next Tuesday, you want to go be in a music video
Yeah.
at a sex club?
Oh. I don't like sex.
I don't know if I can talk about who this is for, but they want us to come be in their music video.
All right.
I gotta pee.
Well,
Interesting.
Dustin, it's been
I
fun.
just got an email here. All right. It has been fun. It's good to see you again, sir. We want to say this weekend, our buddies Henry the Archer releasing their vinyl.
I think I'm going to go to Saturday's show at, where's it at, man?
Chief Records.
Remember Chief Records in
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
And then Sunday, a Spinster. I've got Cowboys
Spinster
Duty.
in Oak Cliff?
I believe so. That's the big one.
That's the one you're going to, right?
No, we're going to the one on Saturday.
Oh.
You should
yeah.
go with me to Spinster, too.
Oh. I'm going to the Saturday one.
But you should go with me to Spinster
We'll
because
see.
they do podcasts live from there all the time.
Live from the Temple of Eye?
And live from Spinster.
Yeah, that gave me a weird vibe when they were out at that beer festival we went to.
Who?
Spinster, yeah.
What beer fest?
The homebrew one.
What weird vibe was that?
Wasn't having it, man.
That's where Jake does all his shit. They do all their podcasts. They do a lot
Jake.
of them from the ticket.
Oh, yeah.
From
Fits.
Spinster.
Fits them all.
Yeah, so go grab a vinyl. There's all sorts of special secret stuff can't talk about with this vinyl till you have it in your hands and see it. It's a cool deal. And yeah, there's some other big stuff coming up on the horizon. We'll probably talk about it next week on our next show. Really cool shit. So yeah, stay tuned. And thank you everyone that actually tuned into YouTube tonight.
Yes.
It's kind of sweet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's our first time to use the YouTube stream, so well, maybe we'll keep this going in the future. We don't know, but thanks for letting us test it out and try to break it. And thank you for tuning in. So we're out of here. Till next week.
Peace.
I don't have a
Roll credits.
You know what you need? You need a Jerry Springer ending. Some word of encouragement.
Encouragement?
Yeah.
Like in these desperate times?
Yeah, in these desperate times there are desperate measures that call for desperate things. All right, we're out of here. Let's get out of here. Later. Peace.